Peace, peace, peace. I gotta see if I can hear myself. Peace, peace, peace. Okay, so I can hear myself. My fault, yo. So I was supposed to have went live this morning, but I had to take some Pepto Bismol. I ate the wrong combination of food yesterday. So y'all about to get on here and talk about what happened with the Sister George situation. And I wanted to talk about in the most kindest way possible because this type of conversation makes a lot of people feel uncomfortable. A lot of people was triggered. Um, a lot of people was triggered by the conversation because Black people have had this conversation about molestation in a way to trigger one another. We don't really care about the realness of what's going on. Black people are used to number one, the reason why the conversation goes live all the time is because now Black women are waking up to the fact that you cannot slut shame females, but you cannot slut shame young females at all. Okay. When we congregate and we talk about the wellness of children, Black women talk about consent and what that means. And we talk about consenting to sexual acts. Children cannot consent. And that's what we say, period. But that's very complicated because then children begin to touch one another and they begin to interact with one another. And sometimes that interaction becomes sexual. And so we look at the root cause of where that comes from. Okay. Sometimes it does come from, most of the time, it does come from, what's up with therapy? Most of the time, it does come from a man or a woman touching on this child. But because the conversation goes left when you call Black girls fast, then now when children interact sexually, okay, no matter where the root cause comes from, even if it comes from their own sexual deviancy, you want to now say that the only person who was a thought whore or harlot in that situation, or the only person who was nasty in that situation was the girl who was the same age as this boy. And I'm telling you, men, they don't give a fuck about what happened to them sexually. Only when it's a man involved. And the only concern when a man is involved is if they're gay or not, or if they want to suck a dick or not after that situation. Excuse me, y'all. I'm just saying. Trigger warning. This is, we're talking about children here. Okay, y'all see the title. And the protection of children. But y'all don't want to have this conversation because y'all want to victim blame by trying to tell girls, oh, you're not so innocent. How do men get touched in droves by women and they don't report it because they don't give a fuck, because they keep saying that their sexual experiences as children is way more enjoyable? This is what they proclaim. And we as Black women, we cry and tell them what happened to them was fucked up, but they don't care. How do you tell somebody who don't give a fuck that they're in trauma and they don't know they've been through trauma? Okay? So much so that it's the whole ideal of a little boy getting touched on is so understudied. We don't even know what the after effects of it, because to a man, it was just another body under their belt. If it was a dude who touched them, then who is Sister George? A motherfucking mule ass bitch. Listen. So now all of a sudden, oh my God, the poor little boy, because a little girl was touching on him. But when a grown ass woman do it, it's still poor ass little boy. But we say, hold on, the adult men don't care. They look at it as a badge of honor. And Instead of correcting them, even in your own space, Sister George, you just parrot the talking points of those men who don't give a fuck. So why, when a little girl gets touched on, do you have to bring up a little boy? Little boys, they probably care in that moment, but we don't know because by the time they're an adult, they're not saying anything really happened to them. And yes, we already know little girls isn't so innocent either. A little child gets touched on, and an adult enters the whole situation, and it's dead ass wrong. Y'all trying to make it seem like, oh well, society don't really give a fuck because they'll put the kids in juvenile and stuff like that. And they'll put those kids in juvenile in jail with other children. They won't take that child and put that adult child. No matter what they did, they could have bombed, or they could have bombed down a whole fucking town. They're not gonna put that child in no prison with adults. That's the whole point, motherfucker. They even in punishment, you have to put children with other children. And it's like people just like, man, we don't know, man. Society, they'll put children in jail. So little girls, they not perfect neither. Nobody says they perfect, but we have to stop adultifying children, no matter what gender they have, no matter if it's a boy, no matter if it's a girl. But y'all derail the conversation every time. This was about Kevin Samuels and his bullshit, and him trying to make it seem like mothers need to believe the man first. If you don't believe your child first, that means that you already, I'm gonna just investigate. And then when it came down to your situation, Sister George, you got up there and talking about something. If somebody touched mine, then they're not gonna make it to the police. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You just said investigate first. So now motherfuckers not gonna make it to the police. That's how I feel. Motherfuckers, and it comes down to mine. I'm not going to the police. I'm going to kill that person. Here's the whole thing about it that y'all don't understand though. You trying to tell other parents to investigate? The police already gonna do that. What's up, Aries Queen? The police already gonna investigate. What is there to investigate? It's either you're going to kill a bastard or you're going to go to the police. Every parent already know what it is. So as parents, and we have children, and we can't be honest about what we would do with our kids in that situation, you don't have to even talk about, well, these kids fast. What if it was your daughter? Oh, I'm going to kill the motherfucker. Okay, that's what we need to spread and be honest. Let's be honest. We're going to kill a motherfucker. I don't want to hear none of this about motherfuckers being fast. Your daughter could have sucked dick tomorrow. If she come home, clothes ripped, and somebody did something to her, you rotten. So I don't want to hear none of this bullshit. You could be mad as shit at your daughter, but you be like, somebody took away some shit from her. She consented to what happened yesterday, but today some grown-ass motherfucker going to touch my baby? Fuck no. And here's the thing, whenever she doing that bus, you still go and wonder, well, did the boy coerce her into doing it? Did he keep asking her to do? Because, yes, little girls get coerced into doing stuff like that. When little boys hit on little girls and stuff like that and touch on their butt, it's like, oh, girl, he just like you. And the adults laugh. What's up, sweet life of Atari? What's up, boo? Shout out to Sweet Life of Atari, because the whole thing about it is you cannot glorify what happened to you and want black women. Black women already feel bad, and we think, yo, it's like a waste of time for black women to even feel sympathy. Most black women have empathy and sympathy for the gays, right? And black men be like, I don't know why y'all close to them gay motherfuckers. I don't know why y'all close to them gay motherfuckers. But guess what? Dr. Umar Johnson, so-called Dr. Umar Johnson, can get online and say, "Oh yeah, most gay kids most gay children been touched on." He can say that, right? But we supposed to throw all the way to black kids because they been touched on and they turn gay. Who cares at that point? Did you protect them when you found out what happened? That's what counts. And that's another thing I wanted to bring out too. Sister Joy's going to talk about how motherfuckers is gay. Being gay don't have nothing to do with nothing. Because I'm going to tell you something. The most sexual predators is heterosexual, statistically speaking, if you want to look it up statistic-wise. Don't nobody want to talk about that. See, a lot of men is gonna take what happened to them with another man to the grave, and because of homophobia. And black women that don't really give a fuck. We still riding even if we found out what happened. I'm like, I don't give a fuck who did something to my boys, girl, whatever. I'm riding. So you can understand that for yours, but when it come down to parts and the talking points for cash apps and on your own page and for views and clicks and all that other shit, and let's keep it a buck, she's really not popping like that. I've been all over YouTube. Come on now. Like Cynthia G easily get 2K in her fucking chat, bitch. You chose the wrong team. Don't die mad about it. And here's the thing. Black women, we the ones who make y'all mad because we want to protect the gay children. Y'all get so mad. Why y'all want to protect the gay children and stuff like that? Because according to y'all, they was touched on. So why can't we love on them and try to heal them the best way we know possible and stuff like that? Come on now. That doesn't make any sense. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it real. Men is not being honest. Men is not being honest about how they throw high value man in our face, and they make it seem like we gonna be not okay if we alone, if we hustling on our own and we still a mother, and they make it seem like we can't do it alone, and we get so scared as women, and we do sometimes cover the shit up. Sexual abuse, yes, we do. It's fucked up, but men throw it out there too. I mean, then women perpetuate it too because they're thinking like a male. Oh, I need a man to be with somebody, but society put that in people's mind, period, that you have to be with somebody and ignore what's going on. I'm surprised she ain't go, child. Her and her hollering is ridiculous. And I listened to the playback, and no, me and Woman Spirit did not call her a bitch. I never call her a bitch throughout that whole conversation. She called me a bitch first. They hate black women's bold as cowards. And I was honest when I said that, listen, whatever children do, all you have to worry about is if your child consented to that act. You can handle it on your own in your own household, but we're not going to sit there and make it seem like when an adult is in a conversation with a child that you derail and talking about, well, little kids fuck each other. And I'm sitting here like, well, I seen the girl touching on the boy. And then I seen it, they be patting the little boys, up. And it's just like, okay, you as an adult should have stepped in and be like, where's your mother? It takes a village. It takes a village. And that shit is crazy. Like, it's just too much going on. Rude really had to go get on Sister George channel telling her that he understood what she was trying to say. And I think Rude is live now talking about it, how black women, and it's just like, no, it's the fact that we as black people, we're afraid to be lonely. We are afraid to be lonely. But it shows up more so in black women. But now the men, they keep trying to throw it in our face that they don't want to be with us. And we already know when black women talk and they become divested and all this other shit, they're really crying out for black men the most because we're the ones who date out the least. We don't date out like that. Black men know that. That's why they was the ones who was throwing this shit all in our faces. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of black men don't understand that. Stuff just gets embedded. That's why I come on here every day and tell people, stop putting marriage on a pedestal. Okay, but the divorce rates being so high, stop being afraid to be by yourself. Stop being afraid to heal yourself and deal with your own shit. You dealing with your own shit might be that you might have to separate from that motherfucker, especially if you know they doing something to your children. It's no excuse for that. I don't excuse black women for that. Black women don't excuse each other for that. That's where the word mammy came from. And y'all don't believe me when I say that feminists, when they came up with that word, it was for somebody who really wanted to be with a man so much they was gonna throw their own daughters and sell their own soul. You sell your soul as a woman and don't nothing go right for you and you suffer in your life after you do some shit like that. I seen karmic debt of black women in my own family who just didn't give a fuck and was just like, oh, um, yeah, we just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna still be with this motherfucker who was touching on my kids. Come to find out he touched on somebody else, cheating on her, somebody else's kid cheating on her, and he got locked up anyway. And I felt like maybe Rude Dump at first was just coming up there as a way to just like lighten the mood at first, because it was later on in the conversation. I will give him that. However, he needs to understand nobody is saying that all children is innocent. Y'all say fuck them kids every day, right? But the whole thing about it is like it's not cool for you to put it all on a woman and the man is the one that's touching the little girls. Yeah, there is women who just be like, okay, but ultimately the man is doing it and giving her the decision. Like, okay, like we have to put the blame where it's supposed to be. Come on now. And you up there talking about most of the time women cover it up because they are in competition with their daughters, because black men is the root cause to that, wanting to be with a black man, wanting to coddle a black man, thinking that this black man is doing so much for you. You just don't think you can be with nobody else. You just don't think you can be with somebody else, because that shit do happen. But the main ones who let that shit go, y'all, we not gonna keep it a buck. The main ones who sell their daughters off is the main ones who just chalk their daughters up to being fast, to being wrong. Talking about, oh, she was sucking dick on a bus yesterday. She is a fucking whore ass bitch, and I'ma just let it go. It's a cycle. We need to stop shaming our fucking daughters. Once we can do that, then when a grown man touch on them, we will feel like fuck this nigga. And we do need to start promoting being single. Being single first and putting your children first. We need to stop acting like single mothers need to call Kevin Samuels, period. They need to call him, period, to know about being with a man. Most of the women that called Kevin Samuels had children. They felt insecure because they heard how niggas talk online. They got a taste of it and couldn't handle it. You don't have to seek validation from men online. You don't have to seek validation from your relationship. You don't have to seek validation from men at all. You are you regardless. You have to walk this earth as a black woman, as a person first. And see, people just chalk it up to black women just rubbing their coochies together when we talk about being alone. But the whole thing about it is the men is talking about the same thing. Sister George and Concrete dismissed him when I listened yesterday. He left that panel on his own, saying he had to leave, but they didn't. What happened? She might be talking about another panel. Oh, Robbie, that's a woman. But yeah, Hooked Up is a woman. She cool as fuck. But yeah, so it's just ridiculous. The amount of vitriol that goes through having these conversations. It shouldn't even be like that. It shouldn't even be like that. We shouldn't even be derailing conversations. Even if a man is having a conversation about what happened to him as a little boy, no, black women, you don't talk about what happened to you. Finally, they're having a conversation admitting what happened to them was dangerous and detrimental to their being. Yes, like let them have that conversation. We shouldn't be derailing any gender conversation. Oh, my gender gets My shit. No. See, the whole thing about it is the patriarchy is dangerous to men as well. When the patriarchy is, it's a patriarchal, cis, heteronormative state of mind that black men have, that they can't tell what happened to them when a grown ass man touched on them. They thinking they're gay. They think they can't say anything. Y'all let Raz B slide. I mean, not Raz B. Y'all talked about Raz B like a dog. Remember that song, Looking Ass Boy, with Young Jock? Young Jock was like, oh no, Chris, no, Raz B looking boy. That shit wasn't funny. Those niggas got touched on, and everybody made a joke about it. Everybody made a joke about it. But guess what? So people want to act like it's more serious when it's a man. That's a lie too, because R. Kelly touching on them little girls, nobody gave a fuck. Nobody gave a fuck. And people like, oh, the parents sold off. Okay, there were fathers involved in that shit too. Fathers who was with it. The ones who was really in the ring, in R. Kelly sex trafficking ring, the fathers was the most involved, selling off their daughters. What are you talking about? I seen a lot of black men selling off their daughters. Don't try to make it just seem like it's women too selling off their daughters. And guess what? The crazy thing about it is what made me really shed tears watching Surviving R. Kelly is the fact that R. Kelly ain't even was giving up no bread like that. Motherfuckers is so poor minded and so poor, period, on poverty, that they was willing to sell off their daughters for a damn nickel, because he was giving out the most smallest payments. Our daughters wasn't worth shit. But guess what too? R. Kelly was also touching on boys. Or he was gonna make the little girls into boys. But you don't think that's sick? You don't think that's sick? You're not going to protect the children from touching on each other. Because she said just the other day, I seen, what the fuck did you do though? Did the mother try to fight you after you told that little girl that, hey, that little girl mother that, hey, she was touching on that little boy? Yo, it's so many layers and nuances to this conversation that black men don't want to have, but they want to insert themselves in that conversation. You should have just removed yourself from the whole motherfucking situation. You should have just removed yourself. Because it's not a conversation for you to just insert yourself in. Why do you need to try to defend men? When men have their own bro code. Y'all bro code isn't talking about y'all sexual experiences. If anything, I feel like black men, when talking about what happened to us, sometimes, I mean, nowadays they're a little bit more understanding. But I remember Def Comedy. You know, y'all will ever watch Corey Holcomb, the comedian? Corey Holcomb is known for being very controversial. He has jokes about how like laughing at the fact that black little girls' sexual experience with men is way more not pleasurable because of the pain that we go through. You feel what I'm saying? And it was just so triggering. They can't talk about sexual abuse on boys and just walk away, and he had to smooth it out for the men watching. That's why they try and vent that energy for women. Exactly. It's just a derailment. It's just to gaslight us, to let us know that we're not saying that, yo, we is the most protective of the boys, because even when they do turn out to be gay and they're being touched on, we still love on the gay people, because y'all complain about it all the time, that black women, oh, y'all touch some gay people, y'all always got gay best friends, y'all are gross, y'all deal with them so-called F-bombs, and it's just like, okay, like, there's still black people went off on about Kevin, really sad. And then, child, who knows? Who knows? And the matriarchal energy is so strong. I really feel like Kevin died at this point in the conversations that's had after Kevin Samuels' death. I really feel like Kevin Samuels died because he was never supposed to do that. And the roaring of black women and black women saying that that's not right. He took that video down, and the Faith Factor and Bossy Empress Erkies, they the only YouTube pages where you can find that shit. That video of him grooming that woman. And if Sister George didn't want to be viewed in that way, she should have just said, I'll speak on it after I watch it. Can you play a little bit more of the video? I need a little bit more, few minutes to really say really see what he's saying. Or she could have, ma'am, you could have just said what he's doing is trash, because if it was me, I'd cut off his dick. Because that's what she was saying. That's what she couldn't wait to say on Faith Channel, because she wasn't trying to defend the fact that she's derailing the conversation by parroting the talking points of men. We're not men. You're not supposed to understand a man. My thing is, why people idolizing folks like they Jesus? It's a cult mindset. Be mindful of who you listening to. I mean, I don't really think Jesus is really the issue for real. Out that the religion is really an issue, but I really do think that people need to take a second look at the Bible and see how God views rape and all these other things. Because when people would when the women would get raped, at some point they had to marry their rapist. Yeah. So you get into that, and people worship a God who feels that women need to marry their rapists. And at that time, the point is the fact that a lot of these girls was also getting taken advantage of just because they were on their period, and men just deemed it necessary to roll up on them and do the do. And you don't even understand how that's basically saying that rape is legal in those biblical times. I'm gonna tell you this: if you're able to just marry that woman after you rape her and not really have to pay for it, then men probably just would do that all the time, right? That ass, like, and a lot of people don't want to have that conversation as well. So a lot of Christians talk shit about the spiritual community or whatever. I mean, come on now. And I had an honest conversation where we were just chopping it up, and I told him about an experience that I had with a teacher, a math teacher, and I was only 14, and how I was trying to touch on him and all this other stuff inappropriately, and I was trying to massage him, not his penis or anything. I wasn't into that, but I did massage him. He let me massage him, and that was it, right? And so it's weird, because if he would have went any further with me, I know me, and so a lot of people want to create this narrative in their mind that little girls is seductive, and they're seducing these grown ass men, and it's like, even if they were, this is still the man's or woman's job to completely remove themselves from that situation, and then go snitch, and then hope and pray that child gets some type of answers for what just went down. They are the worst when it comes to who is that on the photo. Ganago, she looks intriguing. That's Kalima. She destroys the egos of demons and demonic energies, but also men. A lot of people like working with her in the spiritual community. I don't think everybody can work with her by herself, but yeah, she's really dope. She's a really dope goddess. Exactly. Like, I'm just tired. I'm really tired I'm just really tired of motherfuckers not keeping it a buck about this conversation. And I really didn't mean what I said when I said about children. When I said about, okay, I'd rather for children to be consenting to having sex rather than an adult entering the conversation, right? And that shit just set Sister George off, because she just wanted to continue to slut shame black girls. And I was like, what the fuck? Why do you want to continue to slut shame black girls? Why do you want to, like, after that, you should have shut the fuck up. Because you know black men don't care. Yo, y'all know how many situations where I've just been talking to black men, right? And he told me about his situation, and I've literally started crying, like real tears based off what he told me. And I'm trying to have empathy for the fact that he's had a sexual experience like that at a young age, and he's like laughing. Like, y'all, do y'all know how creepy that is? That motherfuckers just start laughing at your ass, and you just be looking like, this nigga just laughed at me, and I'm crying, and he laughed at me. So you wipe away your tears, and you're just like, oh, okay, and then you just continue on, and then you change the subject to something else. That's how that conversation goes. If we start talking about our experiences, we're crying and shit like that, and the man don't know what to say. He hand us about the tissues, like, man, that's fucked up. I would kill that nigga and stuff like that. Yeah, like, gotcha, bitch. That's how she felt. Gotcha, bitch. Like, got you what? Like, and what the fuck was, like, children is going, like, yo, it's fucked up, but children is going to consent. Like, I'm gonna give y'all a story, and it's terrible. It's a terrible vision, but the shit happened. I put my right hand to God. This is when, before I moved into my place, when I was at the shelter, it used to be this little boy around Trey age used to come in there. He just knew how to walk. He was like one, a little bit over the age of one, and it was another little girl that used to come in there, and she was about 1 year old. Y'all, when they first seen each other, when they first met, I don't know what the fuck happened, but they didn't know each other from a can of paint. They looked at each other and they ran up to each other real fast. And not really real fast, but it was kind of like in slow motion. Like, you know how the white romantic movies, the white people run on the beach like, I swear to God, they ran up to each other and they kissed real hard, like tongue, everything. Barely, these kids barely 1 year old, right? And we were so shocked, and the whole shelter was so shocked. We didn't even it was too late. We couldn't believe what was happening, right? We were so shocked. They just kissed real hard. And we sitting there looking, and they finally pull apart, and we just shocked, like, what the fuck? They didn't even know each other. Why they kiss like that? I mean, slobbering each other, it was weird. And it's fucked up, but kids will do stuff like that. I don't know why we didn't pull them apart, but everybody was like, oh yeah, you know, she got a little boyfriend. And you know, she corrected us and let us know, like, hey, that's ignorant. You know, y'all shouldn't be saying shit like that. And rightfully so, because you want to make sure in co-ed spaces that's not happening with children of no ages. But come on now, somebody that's 1 year old, we always like, what the fuck? Why they kiss like that? Why they kiss? I mean, like, I don't know why. Like, it was like they, and then from then on, they was just close as fuck. And the mother was so mad. The mother or the daughter was so mad because she kept trying to keep them apart. And I don't know. Child, like Trey, he had a little friend at the shelter, and when Trey was just 1 year old, the little girl used to hop on him and stuff like that, and it was like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I know for a fact these little kids probably never seen nothing, but I don't know how they knew that. I had to create another ego to deal with the world because they were trying to abuse my ass left and right, and I've never been abused. Hell, I was responding to disrespectful shit. And that's my whole thing. I've never really been. I've had situations where family members have done things to me, but nothing really extreme. So my situation wasn't really validated like that because nobody, quote unquote, you know, penetrated me, but I was fondled or whatever. And I do know family members that have done weird shit like that. I've had a whole uncle get arrested because he had a long history of doing stuff to people in the family. Nobody knew until he was touching this white boy. He was touching this white boy for 5 years. He finally got arrested for it. And I found out after I gave birth to my first son. And he was all over the news. You know what I'm saying? So it's really a ripple effect. The fact that he had to get arrested for family members to even come forward and say, this happened to me, men and women. And my mom was like, told me, like, hey, Uncle so and so, he almost molested me, and I dodged the bullet. And I was like, what? Why didn't you tell nobody? She was like, I don't know. I just thought nobody was going to believe me. And so I thought that was weird. Because my mom, she always was so adamant about saying something, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, this is a really triggering conversation that a lot of people really not ready to have. And I'm just mad that in 2022, it's people that's just outright so proud and just stuck down, putting their toes down to the ground on this shit. On just completely, and like, how you go to your page and double down, man? How you go to your page and double down? And so the crazy part is, what's even more embarrassing, y'all, is the fact that men talk so much shit about older women, and then you're telling me that nothing with the abuse that y'all accept on the daily, which I won't be honest about that it's abuse or it was abuse. Y'all sit here and gonna tell me that y'all don't like older women, and some older woman then touched on you when you was way too young to fathom what was going on. But y'all all hate. Okay. I see what's going. It's the double talk. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the double talk. Okay, because y'all be like, y'all love to say y'all got daddy issues. That's why you like dating these older men that manipulate y'all mind. Our children, our little girls, is not bred anymore to be with older men. Okay. Nobody is. Our children is meant to deal with one another, but we have to make sure it's not sex involved. We did. It's motherfuckers. It's really motherfuckers like Sister George who hide this shit. It's really motherfuckers like Sister George. They be the first one. My daughter fast and shit. I ain't letting go my high value man for that bitch, and I'm a fat bitch. That's what she'll probably say about herself. I'm fat. I ain't going to get to be able to find another man. Because Sister George, I heard that live stream where she gonna fucking say, because Atari, she straight clipped that bitch. Thank you for that, Atari. Because she was like, oh yeah, I'm so big, my husband don't pay me no mind no more. And it's like, what? Why would you listen? Us fluffy women, black women, okay? Us fluffy black women, don't be afraid to go back out there. These niggas online is fucking lying. Okay? You have to be okay with being single no matter what size you are. Once you lose weight and then find out niggas still disrespectful, I done lost weight before. Right before I had my son, I was the size that I wanted to be for like a few years, and it was just like, oh, it's the same thing. Niggas still doing the same thing. I thought I was going to get treated better. No, I wasn't. Sis, it was the same result. That's exactly the same for me. And she tried to play it like she wasn't. Like, you're discouraging other black women from doing something that you wouldn't do. Off rip, you said that you basically slicing and dicing the motherfucker, but you going to tell other black women to investigate. Bitch, investigate these nuts. Investigate this. This nigga going to have to investigate this goddamn knife. Because I'm sticking it. Yo, I didn't did more for less. Even when Black Women's Spirit was talking about the 20K or the 1,000, I don't give a fuck how much it was. I stabbed somebody because they took my food stamp card, and I'm still not playing. And guess what? That person loved me to this day. I was just thinking about your comment from last night. I done did more for less. And then she tried to gaslight Woman's Spirit, talking about something. Oh, you don't know who your baby daddy is and shit like that. No, bitch, she said that about Nala. I see that you was watching very, very closely. But see, something that she said about Nala, you tried to put on her. Because I'm sitting here looking like, oh, sis, not you completely like shaming somebody like you wasn't a baby mama. So I think Concrete Rose and Sister George think they're better, right? Because they they sucked it up and just started talking like men, became male identified, and got married. So they think they better, like, oh child, you better start talking like these men. You know what I'm saying? So you can get you a husband. She doesn't go do it like, oh, y'all better get you a husband. Then she gonna say, oh, I'm better than all y'all. Bitch, you're not better than nobody. I'm gonna tell you this. You talk all that shit about being natural and black women wearing their natural hair. I bet you when saints and sinners ask you to fucking cam up, I bet you put a little bit of blush on your goddamn cheeks. I bet you put a little eyeshadow on your goddamn eyes. I bet you put a goddamn what's the name? A curling on to your shit. Made sure you was looking pretty. She hit the panel I was on last night. I went, oh, child, child. That's what I said. Y'all on some shit. She said she was waiting. Remind me of that person. Who gonna love me? Who gonna make me feel good? Exactly. And that was, listen, Monique played the shit out that part because she probably digged into the fact that the fear of a fat woman not being with a man, not finding that person, not finding that one. She can dive into that part, that mindset. It's something that a lot of women will never understand. Exactly. She is an idiot. I'm sitting here looking like, girl, this is the problem. So many black men have left single black mothers. A lot of black women fear doing things on our own. We need to encourage. But listen, this is why I have a strong disliking for Bossy Empress TV, because she wants to depend on the fact that YouTube is not going to get you over, love. You know what I'm saying? She needs to find another Nick, and it's not working. Whatever she's doing is not working. And then you up under people that are vampires, energy vampires. What's okay to say here? You can say what you want. I don't I don't got no problems. You can say what you want. But yeah, yo, this conversation is irky. I'm mad that Rude Dip keep going live. Keep saying the same shit. I'm sitting here like, why you keep saying the same shit? Why you? How you already admit that black men don't give a fuck and then still want to have a conversation? You can get the fuck out my face after that. Oh, you don't want to cry with me today, bitch? Bye. That's how black women gotta be. That's how black women be. Bitch, be crying over here. Kick that motherfucker off the panel. Don't let no fucking nigga distract the conversation and talk about fake. Now all of a sudden it's, oh my god, woe is the little boys. So you telling me the only time a little boy feels threatened by somebody touching them is by somebody their own age, because that's what Sister George was trying to indicate throughout the whole conversation. She was trying to indicate that only a little girl the same age as that little boy. That's why I said kids are supposed to be fucking. Cause bitch, you derail the conversation, I'ma shut shit down. Fuck out my face. She asked where I was last night. I was on another channel just checking to be short. No, it's fine, boo. Whatever you got to say. I don't like the Sister George, and I never had a problem with Sister George until she started defending R. Kelly on a low and all this other shit. It's a common misconception we have no help as single mothers. I did it with all three fathers, and that's the biggest misconception. And the fact that she judged you and she don't even know that you never said that you did it on your own. But at the same time, in your space, and as a matter of fact, a lot of black women empowerment movements, we talk about being by yourself first anyway, whether you have the help or not. And your space never talked about depending on a man. That's the type of spaces we need. And it was this man last night on Bomb Cherry. Was it last night? The other night? Bum Cherry went live so much, I can't remember. But the other night, this man was on her live stream admitting that he wanted black women to be in poverty with 13 motherfucking kids. Knowing that most Negroes leave, you want us to have 13 kids again? Oh, y'all not having that many kids. Y'all just having 2 and 3. That's a good thing. Why would even the motherfuckers that we got here now? Y'all don't take this conversation seriously. Y'all can't walk and chew gum. Until you want to protect the kids who is touched on by a man and you don't want to laugh, then we can have a conversation, the little boys. Until you want to admit that what happened to you was terrible, then we can have the conversation. Black women are crying, bitch. You don't get to fucking insert your dirty ass in the fucking conversation, you bitch. I'm tired of that shit, yo. That shit is sickening. I can't believe in 2022, black men still got the nerve and the audacity to do that bullshit. If we crying, let us cry, bitch. You don't have no right. Those guys are lying. You don't have, and I think black men. I like to believe that black men are lying about it hurting, like they just fronting and stuff like that, and just laughing just to make themselves feel better. But we already know that's not the case. We already know that's not the case. You know, and shout out to Sweet Life of Atari for having my little recording going off, because I'm so glad that message needs to get out there real fast. Okay, and I want y'all to be patient with Atari because she's still learning, and everybody has to learn. Everybody has to have a chance to learn. I don't have kids, but I do hate to hear them act as if single mothers are eating out of the trash, jealous as they. And she was a single mother, and she's not eating out of the trash. So I don't know why. And then she tried to admit that she wasn't shit, and then probably projected onto woman's spear. And it's just like, okay, let's just admit that. That's why I said, here's the thing. What she's doing with red pill knowledge is so corruptive and disgusting, y'all, because red pill knowledge came from black women. It came from a black woman originally, because we already know the Matrix movie stole their red pill, blue pill Matrix idea from her. That's her shit. A black woman. Black men take the red pill knowledge. It was Hotep knowledge, and Erykah Badu and all that other shit, and Phil Valentine, Bobby Hemmett, what I was talking about last night with James Kills. But y'all turned it into something different. Y'all became mad at black women and wanted to create a different atmosphere based off the fact that you're mad at black women. I don't give a fuck if it originally came from a white man. Y'all rolled away, and it still came from a black woman. You not wanting to advocate for black little girls after you know the truth about what the manosphere really feel like. What man on your panel have cried about what happened to them as little boys? You already admitted that black men is ignorant about that. Bitch, no. We not finna lie. No, men are as a collective isn't the same as hating them. Men are just annoying to me. It's actually quite simple. It is simple. And I'm sitting here like, how do y'all degrade black women still? And we're the only reason why y'all even able to have a voice is because of a black woman. Again, we birth things. Again, y'all still showing the disrespect. As far as abuse is concerned, she need to separate that shit. She need to tell black men to shut the fuck up and let black women cry on their own. Yes, black women, we is the softer vessels, we is the weaker vessels, so to speak. We're more delicate, we're more softer. I embrace that now. Because men, when it comes to their sexual abuse, they admit that they care more about looking like a macho man than getting the healing that they need and deserve from that situation. I will always have sympathy for people, and I will always protect children, no matter their gender, boy, girl, whatever. But you cannot get black women who's talking about their own experiences and really in pain from it. gaslight them after you already said you never gave a fuck about your own. It doesn't make any sense. You can't make it make sense. You can't gaslight us into trying to make it make sense for you, and you won't anymore. Wait, what? I remember when Sister George used to go up on Obsidian's panel, open her wrist, and let them niggas feel it. Yo, I'm dead. That bitch, and it's crazy because it's just like, yo, you're a big woman. You're everything that these men don't like. Why do you feel the need? I look at everything from both sides. No, you're not. In this situation, leave children alone, to go let them live, boys, girls, and boys. We need to, like, it's also a problem with adults are finding children. Okay, that's why motherfuckers. I swear to God, it's not no smoke for you to be talking about the prison system and what juveniles go through and how they got it. And here go Rudip, traumatized ass from being in fucking jail. He like, oh my God, yo, it was the same fucking thing when I was a child. I was in the walls. I was scared. I was lonely. So while we're sitting here calling black little girls ain't shit, ain't shit, ain't shit, ain't shit. How about we sit here and tell you and remind you, well, as a child, motherfucker, you wasn't shit and you deserved it. Ain't nobody put you with no adults, motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. Like, literally shut the fuck up. What's up, Recognized Game? And shout out to Recognized Game. I just found it so strange. I just found it so bizarre. It just doesn't make any sense. And Recognized Game, can you please talk about that situation with men derailing the conversation, but they already proclaimed that they don't really give a fuck about how some grown ass woman was touching on them. You talk about that on your page. I love Recognized Game. He's funny as shit. He be having me crying on the late night streams. Y'all go subscribe to that brother. Tommy Lee from Love and Hip Hop is the same mother and 30-something-year-old grandmother, but KS was fawning all over her and didn't call her out. Same thing with Nicki Minaj. She chose to be with somebody who had, sexual abuse on his record. I never really looked into it. I don't really know what they said about it. I don't really care about Nicki Minaj. And that's my whole thing. Kevin Samuels, he just didn't give a fuck. It's just like, and then I'm tired. It's just really annoying. This whole conversation is just really annoying at this point. I don't know what else to say. It's just triggering. But I felt the need to come on here and say something. Please talk about it, because I want to hear Recognized Game and his voice be like, you keep talking about the bitch and how the bitch touched on you. The whole time you was glorifying the bitch when she was doing it. But all of a sudden, when black women want to talk about their own situations, now here you come wanting to be mad at the bitch. But you wasn't mad at the bitch and her. You fucking did. Yeah, like shout out to Recognized Game. But yeah, like that's what, like, and I can hear him saying something like that because it's really the truth. You feel what I'm saying? You wanting to cry, and it's just like, yo, it's just like a never ending cycle of black people just keep doing the same thing, same thing. And like that's why I tell in this whole conversation about black woman and black man, and the conversation every day, I tell people, like, stop wanting to be with somebody so bad. Learn, like, let that right one come to you, yo. That shit is real. That shit is real life. You only need one black woman, a black man. And it's only but so many black people in this space who's really heterosexual, who's really can be in a committed relationship. Like, yeah, that's bad. Men are doing so bad that Kevin was able to finesse them and fake it to be make it and get away with it. Kevin Samuels was toxic to the black community as a whole. Black people love toxicity, and that's the real problem. Exactly. They love drama. I know I say this all the time on every live stream, y'all, and I'm sickening. But, like, yeah, Kendra G, she's way more balanced than anybody that I've seen on YouTube. Her and Rebecca Pope. Yes, my son been going to sleep. My son going to sleep. What's up, Handling Jones? What's up, Jason Rose? What's up, Incognito? What's up, a bitch Tide? Shout out to everybody rocking with me in the chat and everybody that's cloud watching. Um, yeah, like this is just George shit is just crazy. The whole YouTube been talking about it. It's really embarrassing. Yo said she was waiting on. Yo said she was waiting on. Woman Spirit. Like who sits on YouTube all day and waits to argue with people who never did nothing to them? You feel what I'm saying? I can see if her and Woman Spirit had history. Now she was waiting. Like so she was waiting to roast her, but she never showed up to the perch. Like make it make sense. Yeah, and it's just ridiculous if certain women do go in their face, then it is a switcheroo. That's why I was laughing, right? Because Deke was live yesterday, and he was talking to some black man, and he was like, "Yeah, I thought black men go for the personality, nigga. You know damn well that's not what happened. What's happening now in relationships? Nobody's getting to know anybody. Everybody just sitting here just fucking. That's the whole issue. And people just want to make it one sided on all these conversations, y'all. Like I really try to talk about it from both sides because to me it's not hard. It's not. How is it hard? And sometimes I be a little biased because I'm a woman. I'm supposed to be. But a lot of motherfuckers who never pushed a baby out into the conversation, it's just like fucked up. Well, motherfuckers who did push a baby out, but they don't give a fuck because now they got their husband. Motherfuckers like Sister George. That shit is crazy. That shit is crazy. And it's just like, that's the whole point of Faith having that conversation is you want to make it seem like you make it and you made it, but you're feeling insecure because you're bigger. You can't lose weight, but because your body stature really is that way, right? Why get online and talk about that? Yeah, that's the problem. People are wanting things, but you need to be with somebody who's good for you. And the reason why I talk so much about desirability and all these other things is because there's really an illusion that that people don't understand is you have to be with somebody who's attracted to bigger bodies because anything can happen to you. You can break your leg and not be able to go to the gym and now you're fat. Is your partner gonna stay with you or they gonna leave you or make you feel some type of way, start being verbally abusive, start calling you a fat ass? And you think that's cool? I should have kept the weight down. Like, sir, ma'am, your leg is broken. What are you gonna do? And so, like, I remember one time, Rudemp, he had stopped his live because I feel like it was because of me because I was in the comments leaning because he had talked about the situation of when black women talk about my 600-pound life, and they be like, oh, all the motherfuckers, because we say all the motherfuckers with 600-pound life have a mate. They have a spouse. So we be like, girl, go ahead and eat your cheeseburger. And so we not saying we saying sometimes black women or women in general can have such a terrible relationship with food because we do consume a lot of bullshit like niggas online acting like they're not attracted to bigger bodies, right? When that's the only thing that exists in the black community is bigger and overweight bodies based off because we don't go by the BBI charts. Our bodies are bigger. We live longer. Overweight people live longer, y'all. Google this. Look this up. Understand this. Understand that so-called normal sized people are affected by fat phobia because the doctors and the medical science says that skinny equals healthy. So you have so-called normal people who are adhering to the BMI chart. Oh my God, that was so gross. That was so gross. But yeah, so who are adhering to the BMI chart and they're not getting tested for diabetes because the doctor's just looking at their body stature, that they're smaller size, so they're healthy. That's medical fat phobia, and it's affecting people that aren't even overweight or obese. Okay, there's so many layers to this conversation aesthetic wise. That's why I'm trying to hypnotize the people into being okay with yourself, into loving yourself, into improving yourself and your health and your fitness and things of that nature before you enter a relationship, because there are people who feel the need to sell off their daughters to fathers. But we are not going to get anywhere until we understand that it is okay to be by yourself, that a relationship does not validate you. Okay, and that you can still find a healthy relationship and not try to kill yourself by losing weight. So back to the 600-pound life conversation, right? Well, as far as Rudip is concerned, he misunderstood what I said and tried to do a switcheroo of what I said and said, "Oh, you trying to say you trying to because I was basically saying like, yeah, those real fat those women on 600-pound life, they stay married." And he was basically saying the only thing that fat black women can get is somebody who's ugly as fuck, right? Knowing that we see that that's a lie, looking at the hood, looking in the hood, right? And so here's my thing. I told Rudem, I never said so-called high value handsome men marry those women. I said y'all act like those women who's at least 600 pounds is supposed to be completely alone, and here they are married and in sometimes a healthy relationship. Sometimes those people love those big women, those big bitches so much. If they lose weight and leave them, the thought of it, they hate it. They hate it and leave them. Okay, you can find somebody whose mindset is that strong, who whether no matter what they look like, you're gonna be with them. You run across people like that, regardless of what you look like. You don't have to be afraid to be alone. You cannot be alone in this lifetime. It's too much technology. It's too much. It's too much of fat phobia being diminished within media and things like that. That's why you got Lizzo as an example to look at. You have people like Gabby Sitaway as an example to look at, because somehow, some way, people or the media is trying to diminish fat phobia because the truth is coming out, and you cannot stop the fact. You cannot try to pull a wool over my eyes and dangle this relationship in front of me when I see y'all put this show on TV and all these people big as fuck and they got somebody to wipe their ass every day. And so when people get into desires and what they want, they don't understand being with somebody who they fucking need, who's gonna make their soul flourish and who's gonna make them grow as a person and as a human being. So what y'all don't understand is when your weight gets so bad to the point where you can't fucking walk shit anymore or do anything for yourself, and you got a motherfucker that's gonna be there for you, feed you, and your fat ass is eating every 10 minutes, and they wiping away your bed sores, and they turning you the fuck over, and they making sure the TV, they making sure you get the remote, even though it's only 5 inches away and shit like that. That's a motherfucker that you be with for life. That's a motherfucker who love your funky ass. You're not gonna find that just fucking anywhere. You're not just gonna find that anywhere. And you trying to make it seem like relationships like that is not valuable based off what a motherfucker look like. I think not, motherfucker, because money or not, that motherfucker's gonna be there. Once you 600 pounds and that motherfucker still rocking with you and still wiping off your bed sores, get the fuck out of there. That's true love, bitch. You can't tell me it's not. And it don't matter what the fuck that motherfucker look like. Somebody that's gonna wipe your fucking ass and that shit stink. Come on now, get the fuck out of here. That's true love, bitch. Y'all stupid as fuck. Y'all stupid as fuck. Come on, get the fuck out of my face. That's bullshit. Yo, that shit make me so mad when black men try to gaslight black women. I'm gonna read the comments in a second, y'all. But that shit make me so mad when black men try to gaslight black women and let us tell us that we don't see what the fuck we're seeing. So we don't see this big motherfucker getting wiped down. We don't see this big bitch getting wiped down by a motherfucker who love her like that. That's not true love. Fuck what that person look like at that moment. If I'm 600 pounds and a motherfucker wiping my ass, I'ma love that nigga to the day I die. That's who y'all need to be with. That's the type of love that's gonna stand strong. Somebody that's gonna be with you through thick and thin, no matter what the fuck you look like. That's why I get so mad that y'all talk about look and y'all try to equate it with love and y'all try to equate it with marriage or whatever. No, somebody that's take 600-pound life for an example, motherfucker. Not all relationships on there is healthy, but god damn it, a motherfucker that's going to wipe your ass, you must have lost your mind. And they don't have to. Yo, you're not even old yet. Y'all didn't even grow old yet. Your ass was sitting down eating donuts, and they don't give a fuck. They'll run to the store every 5 minutes to keep filling up the refrigerator, cooking fried chicken for you in the kitchen. I'm sweating. They love you. They love you, my nigga. It may not be functional. It may not be the best relationship. And it may not be something that somebody wants. But that lets you know. Somebody that's riding for you like that, when you reach that point and you done ate yourself into oblivion, you can't even fucking walk, my nigga. Yo, that means no matter what happens to you, you can have cancer, you can have so-and-so, this, that, you can go through whatever the fuck you want to. You can be bald head. Your titties can be gone. Yo, that motherfucker is still gonna be riding with you. When you have a low sex drive. When you don't have no sex drive at all. And it's not about the sex, and that person just gonna be with you in a partnership, yo. Not everything's about looks. Not everything's about looks, and that's why I'm trying to diminish that thing too. Yo, I seen Obsidian. Let me calm down because I'm really like this joint. I just had to zap out real fast because I don't think y'all understand. Like, yo, I want that 600-pound like I want that 600-pound life love. I don't want to be 600 pounds, but motherfucker, I want a motherfucker that's gonna love me through thick and thin. I know what the fuck love is. You must have lost your mind. Okay, I know what love is because I love hard. I'm very romantic, yo. I'm not playing no games with y'all. Telling me I'ma be lonely. The motherfucker with 5 chins got a motherfucker wipe they ass. Child, you must have lost your mind. you telling me I'm be lonely because I'm a little thickums? Please, please. That don't make no sense. When you get sick, in any case, people find out who really loves them, yo, and you cannot stop it. Yo, you can be on Dr. CB diet. Dr. CB, he got sick as shit, even with all them fucking all that fucking dieting. Yo, when you sick and somebody love you, yo, when you're gonna get older, you're gonna have dementia. You need somebody that's gonna be there for you to do this. Somebody that's gonna take care of you. Somebody that's gonna love you. Stop worrying about what the fuck somebody look like and worry about that character. Worry about that character, my nigga. I don't push all this other shit. I do push romance in a certain way because I want when black women and black men come together, I do want us in a good union. However, I don't put that shit on the pedestal no more because the whole world has gone to shit and we're in a different time. And I think when people say modern women and modern black men, they're really trying to admit the fact that they want to go back to traditional time periods. What's up, Mike Green Eyes? What's up, Beat Balls? What's up, Slim Duncan? Shout out to everybody that's rocking with me in chat. If you go to the hospital and look in the rooms, you'll see real love. How? Come on now. Y'all not really ready to have that conversation. Y'all not really ready to have that conversation as far as desirability is concerned. And Brewdem, he ended the live once I said, well, y'all said that these women are supposed to be alone and they married. That's our whole point. You feel me? I want black people. I feel like black people is only going to come closer in love. And we accept that all these numbers and statistics, it don't mean nothing. I can always find a statistic to outdo yours because white people put out things for confusion, y'all. They put stuff out there. They put a load of information out there to confuse us so we can be on here arguing. When it comes to children, I'm not arguing. When it comes to relationships, I'm not arguing. I'm trying to tell people to be okay with being alone because this is why this happens. This is why sexual abuse is let go, because motherfuckers who call people fast, like I said, want to be with a man so bad. And you have to know that Sister George is the one thing that wasn't supposed to get wiped up, and she still did. She's waving her relationship. Everybody face about something. It don't even happen like that. It happened to me because I didn't bossed up and learn how to be a traditional woman. You mean per the talking points of one, but you're not a modern woman, ma'am. You still flat on your hair. You're not natural. Stop fucking saying that. You're not natural. If you was really natural, you be on the live stream every day with an afro looking like the 70s, and I don't see you doing that. Let's keep it a buck. If you was really anti-feminist, you wouldn't wear pants no more and curves. Feminists stood up for people, for women to be able, excuse me, feminists stood up for the right for oppressed groups like themselves, first and foremost, like women, to be able to cuss and wear pants. Because for a while, we didn't even be able to just cuss and wear pants. Okay? Nobody wants to face the fact that most abortions come, because that's another thing that they throw in people's face. Y'all have abortions. Everybody in this conversation, everywhere I see with the Sister George conversation, you see some fucking bitch ass nigga in the comments telling black women about how they should never had an abortion. You mean the fact that 65% of abortions come from rape, incest, molestation, or like, come on now. 65% of teen pregnancies come from that girl getting pregnant by a grown ass man. 65%. Was the guy on DOD live yesterday, Manosphere? I don't know, because there was so many people on his live. I was surprised he went live for 7 hours. Lord have mercy. But he did. Shout out to Deke. He brought a lot of people on that he disagreed with. I was surprised he did that, but shout out to him for just having an open mind and trying to learn. So that was funny. He was so mad because black women went up there and started took over his shit like the guy no cracks for real, and just and just took over his shit. Started talking about womb magic and what's up, Koja Malik? What's up? Koja be on the panel war. Oh boy, anyway, I love her. But yeah, child, I just can't so with the fact that Sister George really went over to I thought she was going to say something different. I thought she was going to bring the black, and here's the whole thing. Okay. Because even in my mammy days, right? Even in my mule days when I didn't know no better and I had to learn and stuff like that, and I had to, I would have went on if it was me in that situation, I would have went on my own page just to get the black men up there to cry and admit that what happened to them hurt, right? That would have been a smart idea. No. It would have been fucked up and still derailing, but it would have made more sense. You know what I'm saying? It would have been smoke. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like I'm in a UT war, people's attacking me, and I'm just in my mammy shit or whatever, I wouldn't have had never went to my page and just doubled down and be like, yeah, men don't give a fuck. I would have at least lied, because we already know throughout the whole conversation, all Sister George did was just lie. But the fact that she didn't lie, right, is just killing me. And then my spirit mother tells me that all the time, like, Tisha, don't matter, they still lie. But I'm like, it was still a better way to lie. That would have made more sense. And you still took an L. So she took a double L. Like, first you up here muling. You know what I'm saying? You made yourself sound like a woman who will sell that daughter off to their husband and just let it go. Okay, that's number one. But then to sit there and tell us again that black men still don't care about that sexual abuse. How you get 2 L's? She doubled down on the derelict and disgusting behavior. Right? I would have begged black men like, come up here and tell how you hurt. You know what I'm saying? Well, nobody probably showed up, but I would have talked about it. I would have brought up the statistics. I would have been up here like, this is so sad that y'all let this happen. Y'all never talk about cutting some bitch titties off. Stop, bitch. You need to go back to the drawing board. You are not a good mule at all. You are so derailing. You said the same thing you said up on Faith Channel. You double embarrass yourself. You're not even a good red pill content creator. You're not even interesting. You know what I'm saying? You just told L after L after L. If I go with the be about chart, I would look like a crackhead. Exactly. Like even me, right? They say I'm supposed to be 130. And in my weight loss days, when I had got down to like 150, everybody was pissed off, man. Everybody was mad. They was like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Go eat something. Go, I can't take it. Water Sniper, you're trash. And Water Sniper, I blocked him from my chat because he's another derailer. I don't allow him to comment in my chat anymore. I definitely blocked him. He's definitely on some FBI shit. You're in my chat trying to cause confusion, but I see you literally every fucking where, and you have no distinction for where you go. Sir, get the fuck out my chat. Like, I have dudes over here that fucking is manosphere. You feel what I'm saying? That fuck with me and who rock with me. You don't have to act like that. You don't have to act like that in my chat. I really don't care, Water Sniper. You got dragged the other day. What did he say, by the way, y'all? Because I blocked him. But I know sometimes, even if you do block somebody, you can see they comment real fast. I wasn't paying the comments no mind or whatever. Because, I got 31 people in this bitch. It's lit. Yeah, but, Sister George, you need to start being honest until you can get black men and start crying the way black women cry about our sexual experience. You're the most phoniest bitch on YouTube at this point. Motherfuckers is gonna just forever drag you through the mud. But you drag yourself through the mud. I mean, you called yourself fat and just not getting any attention from your husband online. Like, you should be really embarrassed. You should be really embarrassed that your husband has no distinction. He's a man and he's also stupid, because what are you even doing messaging anybody on this bitch? I don't give a fuck what he said. He should have never said nothing. Nothing. You're dumb. Water Sniper is obsessed with black women with white men. He said Sister George was the queen, and why we hating on her? Ain't nobody hating on her. Everybody liked her until we heard her say that trash ass shit about not protecting black girls, because black men. Why don't black? He's still not in the comments crying. Where's the black men that are crying? I want black men to cry about what happened to them. Y'all keep saying y'all happy about what happened to y'all. Y'all keep bigging yourselves up. Y'all keep thinking it's more pussy. Y'all never said nothing too boozy. Only a few. Like, listen, and in the black men who felt like even Boozy Badass was wrong, y'all called them like gay or whatever. Like, I don't know. He's trying to make his sons straight. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Y'all ignorant. Yeah, ain't nobody say nothing to Boozy. Remember Boozy said that ignorant shit? I had my sons have sex with grown ass scrippers and was just so happy and was just so satisfied with himself. He just couldn't wait to let the world know this. He just couldn't wait. Just let it all hang out. I'm a piece of trash. You know, I let my sons have sex with grown ass women. Listen, this is what the fuck you're not gonna do. You're not gonna tell me. You're not gonna tell me he's not wrong. I can't wait for the day he dies. I'm waiting. All these other rappers keep dying except for Boozy. Like, I just don't understand why Boozy Badass just won't die. It's really irritating because he said a lot of dark shit. I hate him as well. Oh yeah, like, and yeah, I don't know why she, even in the conversation, Sister George also brought up gay little girls. I don't know why she brought up gay children being gay what that had to do with the conversation. That's another derailment of sexual abuse of children. Somebody bring up somebody being gay. It don't matter if the child's gay. If somebody was touching on that child, then we need to handle it at the root. And like you said, Sister George, you with the shits. You gonna slice and dice. You feel what I'm saying? I've been saying that, but y'all gonna let Sister George rock. I've been saying the pedophiles need to get stabbed. But only Sister George is the only one who's gonna stab the rapist of her daughter. Okay. You supposed to be the only one. Like, you're the most gaslighting woman on YouTube. That's why people don't like you. That's why. We're not gonna do this. Okay, y'all, I'm back. My fault. Yeah, my phone. I had to put my phone on the charger. It's always dead, y'all. It's always dead. But yeah, like I was saying, yes, Sister George, you're just phony. I just can't. I will kill for my son too. Don't get it twisted. People that will women when you about mine, all of them. Our children must be loved and protected at all costs. What's up, Tiffany Jackson? Shout out to everybody in the chat rocking with me. But yeah, this conversation is just sickening. I done had this conversation time and time again. I done seen this conversation happen time and time again. And I end up, when I came into this space, Sister George was just easy food. I've been leaning on her talking points. You feel what I'm saying? Because she's nobody. I know she feel his virtual ass whooping. Yo, I want to know, how do y'all feel about the fact that, okay, I wasn't going to talk on this, but I'm going to talk about it. I don't care. I just have to say something. This is totally separate from the Sister George thing. Okay, so are we going to talk about what Bala X said? Are we going to talk about what Bala X said? Are we going to talk about how Bala X said that he doesn't support any other platform who has Jalen, the Man of Storm, on their platform? Or are we going to talk about it? Are we going to talk about this briefly? Okay, I'll get back to the subject, but I'm just... Okay, listen. It's a lot of people on YouTube, right, that I'm realizing is... I don't know how to have this conversation. They derailed the conversation so bad to focus so much on the gender war, right? It's not just Jalen, though. It's a lot of men in this space who's obsessed with it, who's obsessed with certain spaces, and they're obsessed with Black YouTube. They're obsessed with the back and forth, and they come on certain platforms to derail the conversation. And so people know of these people, but you have people like me who aren't aware who everybody is, who's just figuring everything out. Shit, I almost took off my eyelash. Sitting here trying to rub my face. And here's my thing. You have people like me who just don't know, who's just figuring out. You have people like the Sweet Life of Atara who's trying to figure things out. it's hard to figure it out because you have people who create so many different narratives about these people, and some of these narratives is just not really right. Some people really fuck with these people, and so sometimes um people just will I can't describe it. Like certain people on my panels that I let on that derailed my conversation, I didn't know about. Now I will be, just little changes here. I will be kicking certain people off my panel. Okay, people just keep derailing conversations. People are obsessed with the gender war, and people don't really know what the gender war really is about. People don't really know what the gender war really is. People don't really know that the gender war has to do with black men. People don't know that black men have inserted themselves about conversations about the gender war, and the whole thing about the gender war and what it means is black women basically fucking up the sisterhood because we fight over feminine roles, right? Why? Like, Baller X on his community tab said that he don't fuck with people who let Jalen, Man, and Storm on their platform, and I just feel like, whose platform is that? Auntie's. Okay, we not finna act like, why didn't Baller X post any of Auntie's purges? Like, he didn't post shit. He might later on, but he did on Hennywise channel, and people say Hennywise and Baller X is the same person, but which is a good theory. But now I know they're not the same person because of that. And Baller X just saying that, I just thought that was funny. But anyway, let me read these comments. I just had to go in on that because I just find that shit so crazy. And myself, they play again. Yeah, the comments be how it became a gender horror war when black women started taking up for themselves. Exactly. That's the biggest thing I wanted to talk about too. When the gender war is this, what you're doing, like, where does one begin? Yeah, like, okay, so if you Google like what the gender war is, the only thing that's gonna come up, oh my god, my eyes itching, and I want to itch it like how I really want to itch it, but I got these eyelashes and it's so annoying. I hate eyelashes sometimes. But yeah. So yeah, if you look up what the gender war is, it will just tell you that it's basically like not black women, but women in general who like how men pit women against each other based off feminine roles, because men have stopped just worrying about what they want. They announce it, they talk about it, and then black women internalize it, and then we start arguing about it with each other, and we create competition with it. It's just ignorant as fuck. It's just ignorant as fuck. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said fuck, like, you have to define, you have to know what you need for yourself. What's up, Sincere Seda? I hope I'm saying your name right. What's up, Virgo Moonchild? And Inky Dion. I don't think I called you. I don't think I shouted you out. Talking about why you lying, saying you see him everywhere. I told him he is everywhere. He do be everywhere. He got a wrench in hella people's chat. Stop lying, sir. Stop lying, sir. Yo, I just can't. Yeah, like what is Sniper? He's trash. I just can't. I can't believe he's here to derail conversation as well. But yeah, I need y'all to look up how men pit women against each other by arguing with even themselves and like about what they want and all this other dumb shit. And it's like, nobody gives a fuck what you want. Nobody gives a fuck about what you want. It's just ridiculous. I'm just tired. I'm tired of male identified women. It just gets to be really sickening or whatever, and that she's gonna make me dig into my like what women's spirit was talking about, a battle axe, like she is a battle axe. Nobody is talking like this in this space. And then to make it seem like Faith isn't a balanced content creator on here, stop hating on Faith. Like let's not even play with Faith. She's cool as fuck. Like her content is just really good, and she's really balanced. I've never heard her say anything sideways for. And if you look at the comments on Sweet Life of Atari, I swear Sweet Life of Atari, her page is popping. Shout out to her. Yeah, I just be tripping because my Sweet Life of Atari, like I just be tripping because she looks a little bit like Cynthia D. That's why I'm dead that her and Woman Spirit is forming some type of bond or whatever, you feel me? Because she look a little bit like Cynthia D. When the oppressed actually speak up, then there's a problem. Oppressors want their subjects to be quiet about pain so they can remain comfortable with their abuse of power. What? Yes, they want us to be quiet. That's my whole thing about it. I'm gonna just leave this comment up. Let it sink in. When the oppressed actually speak up, then it is a problem. Okay, but why is it a problem when we speak up? You want us to be quiet like y'all because y'all embrace the fact that it's something wrong with y'all because y'all got touched on. We're not gonna do that. Fuck you. We don't have to stop talking about our sexual experiences because no, we're just not. We're not, and we're not gonna we're not gonna just keep talking about little boys. And that conversation is dead. Until somebody like where's the black? I want the black men to start crying. Where's the black men that's so sad? Because y'all thought it was funny. Only black men that cry because something happened to them is when it's done by a man. And y'all swear for God that y'all gonna take that to the grave because y'all so scared that it's gonna make y'all look gay. So we not even y'all don't even want to talk about that situation. So who hides the fact that it's a whole man touching on y'all? Who? I get called out for being so loud, but okay, in day-to-day conversations, my channel is my place to advocate. I'd rather focus on women and children. Exactly. I like when it comes to certain conversations, Women's Fear, I like to focus on the women and children. When it comes to sexual abuse, I like to focus on the women and children because I can't stand for black men to be so mad at black women for so long for certain things that we do. Our nurturing spirit, being nurturers towards people and who's queer, being nurturing towards people who've been touched on, little boys that's been touched on even by women, talking about what we would do to women if our children was touched on even by a woman. So the fact that y'all don't, that's another thing I want to touch on. Y'all men's ideals is dangerous to even them. They don't understand that even in terms of like, if y'all ever seen the show Deadly Women, right? They go into historic times, like back in the day before women really had rights. They would get away with just keep killing their husbands and getting away with it and getting away with it and getting away with it. And the reason why is because they was pretty and they was small, their hands was little, and so when they came to court, they were so pretty, they just get away with it. Eventually it stopped, don't get me wrong. But for a while, women was getting away with just so much, killing men, and nobody knew because they thought, oh, she's pretty, she's delicate. Women is too delicate and pretty to kill anybody. How is it dangerous to men too? That's my show, Deadly Women. Yes! That's my shit. Don't even get me started. Y'all know I got whole live streams reviewing thriller movies. Y'all know that's my shit. That's why that's why I went in when Women's Spirit, when somebody said when I heard Women's Spirit say Tell that nigga on that panel. It was a whole bunch of niggas on the panel. I can hear them in the background because they were talking shit. Woman Spirit turned around and said, I get a white man to shoot all y'all heads off. Yo, that shit had me crying. I gave no fucks because the person that was playing that made it seem like it was the most disgusting thing to hear. And I was just like, I was feeling it just then because who knows what the fuck they were saying to her. Okay. And that's the thing, Snapped. I've never seen Snapped. And I think it's because I could not find it for free. But Deadly Women, I be watching it on Daily Motions or whatever. But I think I did see a couple episodes. I can't remember. Child, they get so silent when you add women to the motherfucking equation. It's crazy as fuck. I simply say children because I know they don't give a fuck about women. Hell, they really give a fuck about the children. We are the mother of the earth. We will naturally. And here's my thing. I'm talking about like when we as adults are talking about just the strategy of how to remove, pet pedos from the earth and stuff like that, and from our spaces and from our families. When we're talking about doing that, and black men don't want to have that conversation in that moment, we need to kick him off the panel. We need to get him out our spaces. We need to get him out the comments. We need to remove this type of rhetoric from our spaces. We need to create a safe space so we can have these conversations about how to protect black little girls. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying don't care about the black little boys. What I'm saying is about the grown ass men who have no need to, who feel no, who express the who are so aggressive about not healing what happened to them as a child. We don't want them around. We don't want them around when we're talking about what's going on and how to protect the children, because they don't know. They don't gonna. If anytime they just continue on to say that it's okay, and they don't even want to say it's not, then fuck you. Don't let Rudemp on that panel when we talking about sexual abuse. Don't let no other motherfucker when we talk about sexual abuse. You want to talk about how black women abort this and abort that and stuff like that. And it's like, what are you talking about? People that are sexually abused wish they was aborted. You dumb fuck. We always want to nature care, but I'm not naturing. I'm not being naturing to no grown ass man who don't want to be helped anyway. Who, when I'm crying about what happened to him, he's sitting there laughing. His grown ass can get the fuck on. That grown ass bitch can get the fuck on. Just like how you adultifying children, I'm adultifying what happened to you because you're a grown ass man and you don't want to cry, but you sitting up here like you didn't ask me for a tissue, bitch. You just came up and talk about what happened to you and how you really don't give a fuck. Why we have this conversation, bitch? Like, yeah, it's gonna say, like, I was like, and now I feel what Woman Spirit said when she want to slap the shit out of a bitch. No, I really want to slap the shit out of Rudemp in real life. I would really slap the shit out of him. I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up. That's what I want to slap. Have you cried yet? That's what I'm gonna ask him. Have you cried yet? Oh, okay. Then move along. But I would slap the dog shit out of him. And Rudemp said he wanted to get beat up by a lot of women on here. He said he wanted to beat it up. And in real life, we got to beat his ass. That's why I told Rudemp that I said it. I said it already. I said in real life, I would stab him in the fucking kneecap. I would stab him, not in the kneecaps. But that's a good idea, though. I didn't get to say this on live, and I wanted to say this on live because I didn't know I wanted to do this to Rudemp. But I do want to cut off his navel now. First, I just wanted to just stab his ankles up. I did want to break them after they healed and then like torture him for months. But now I want to cut off his navel. That's what we doing. We cutting off Rudemp navel. Matter of fact, let me put my name up here. That's my new name, y'all. Let me make another banner. Because Woman Spirit gonna beat up Sister George, and I like fighting niggas, so I'm gonna beat up Rudemp. Cut Rudemp navel off 2000. Oh wait, my dumbass. 2022. Okay. So like this is what we're doing now. We're cutting off Redemp Nabel for what he said, for entering into conversation. I already told y'all that I was gonna oh my god, I thought I was the only one who felt this way. I'm crying. I have to be honest. When I see women killing men, I secretly cheer for them. Yo, especially I'm talking about like the ones where, the like, okay, when they get away with it, because for me, I do make a distinction for it. When they was abused or when a man was cheating, yeah, I do secretly do. Or if it's like in the olden days before women had rights, and then they like keep letting her get away with it. Like, yeah, I be cheering for the women because it's like you dumbass motherfuckers just won't lock her up and believe that the evidence is right there. Like that should be crazy. It is every adult's responsibility, related or not related, to protect the child, boys and girls. Exactly. Facts, y'all. That's what I agree. But like, child, these grown ass men, we shall not. We're not gonna spare your feelings. Okay, especially when we're talking about how to strategize and y'all just these fast ass little girls. And it's just like, okay, you fast ass little boys. It's like, ma'am, sir. It's the audacity for me. That's how y'all know I be getting on here, man. I don't even feel like we're reviewing nothing, because listening to certain people's voices now is just triggering. Certain things is just triggering for me. I can't take having this conversation. I had to cleanse my house a little bit just to have this conversation, because I said if it's just very heavy on my heart, because yeah, like I said, I do feel bad. I forever feel bad, but when we're having this conversation, Black women, we gotta start being more strict about who voices we let on our platforms at this point. Who we put our time, energy, and thoughts into, right? Child, I was called fast for many different reasons, and I didn't lose my virginity until I was 19. You know, I've seen that a lot. And the whole thing about this in my personal family, I've definitely seen the men get coddled and stay in the house longer than the girls, and the girls get kicked out at a young age. I've seen that a lot. I mostly see Black men staying on the couch of women. I mostly see women opening their hearts to men. Why? Because women are the so-called weaker vessel. We're gentle. We're nurturing. We want to help Black men. We want to help our kings, so to speak, our pharaohs, so to speak. We want to help these ashy ass motherfuckers, and we continue to. And you're not gonna tell me that, you know, like it's and here's the thing, that's not right. That's not right. We should coddle the girls a little bit more because they're softer. That's how it is in other cultures. Black people, we still talking about put the motherfuckers out, or we get put out more than nobody. Like, what the fuck? Like, let go of the titty. Grow up. I wasn't talking about nurturing and like the mid-entry. No, I was talking about all the children because of race. And that's another thing too. Regardless of race, yo, like I love all kids, even no matter what color they is, even if they white. Cause I don't trust the others, but they weird looking children. I love on them too. even though I don't want to. Even if they gonna grow up to call me a nigger, like they don't know no better right now. They're a child. That's how I feel, and I don't like feeling that way. You got some host helpers that don't give a fuck. You know, you got some pro-Black people that don't give a fuck. But At that point, I do, and it's a very progressive thought to want to protect the children, but child. But I know y'all tore I know y'all tore Sister George a new asshole. I had to tell her a new asshole because bitch, you will not play with me about these kids. You hear me? The fact that she didn't even execute a good plan as a red pill content creator. If you didn't gather a panel of men to talk about their experience, you lost me. What's up, Sugar Bun? You lost me, bitch. If you didn't gather your group of men, if you didn't gather your group of men to talk about, even you didn't even gather a group of men to talk about them being touched on by men. There's no black man on this planet that's willing to admit that. I'm happy too because y'all. Let me explain something to y'all. This is something I wanted to leave with y'all before I leave and get off of here because I gotta give me some water. I gotta re-cleanse myself because this is a heavy conversation. Um, on surviving R. Kelly, right? A lot of people, what a lot of people don't understand, and I get we're talking about children. However, what a lot of people don't understand is they'll gaslight. People used to gaslight black women a lot because they'll say things like, "Oh, those fast ass little girls." That's the first thing they'll say as far as R. Kelly is concerned, and it's almost like can I put this? It's almost like it doesn't matter because they're minors and stuff like that. It's like because their brain isn't fully developed. It's almost like people are doing reverse psychology because the conversation they just have to gaslight people because they love R. Kelly so much. This is what people would do, and so I think it was the third surviving R. Kelly, and in that movie, in the documentary, one of the hair braiders who used to braid his hair, she was talking about her experience with R. Kelly and what he did to her. Y'all, I don't know why it fucked with me so bad. Why it made me cry so bad. And a lot of people who watched it say the same thing, that this part was so touching. But the hair braider, y'all, she just didn't want nothing from him, y'all. He didn't even pay her a lot. And when she was braiding his hair, he just pulled out his dick and just came on her face. And they just, so many people try to gaslight women and girls by saying so many things. And it's like, you piece of dusty shit. Like, she did so much for him just to braid his funky ass hair because, he didn't really shower like that. And he pulled out his dick and came on her face like twice. And it happened so fast. It's like, how the fuck do your nasty bitch ass even come that fast? And I'm laughing to keep from crying because it's so emotional because you just know he's a piece of shit that he just don't have no decorum for nobody. That's like, how do you do that to somebody? Like, what was the reason? Everybody admits that was the most saddest part of the documentary of surviving R. Kelly because this woman didn't need. I can't describe it. You would just have to watch it. But it was so sad, y'all. Like he didn't even give her like the proper like care as a hairstylist and to disrespect her like that. Like, you a crusty ass bitch. You made all these songs about about love making, and your bitch ass is coming in 2.3 seconds just to come on somebody's face, you dirty ass bitch. What was that for? She didn't want nothing from you. No, that shit hurt so bad. I don't know why it hurt so bad. Even when I talk about it, it just get me teary eyed because It just goes to show like all this gaslighting, and he doing this to a hairstylist who never asked him for nothing, yo. Like she didn't even pay her that much. I forgot how much it was, but it just it fuck with me, yo. Just, like how do you even prepare for something like that, like yo? And I laugh to keep from crying because it's so sad, yo. It fuck with me. It fuck with a lot of people. It's just like nobody was safe from his bullshit, not even this innocent woman. With all these so-called, okay, so it's all these fast-ass girls. What about this grown-ass woman? Because y'all make it seem like the girls don't matter. That's why I said the slut-shaming of black girls for what? Oh, that part with Sparkle, that made me mad. That made me mad as shit, too. Because you know that bitch was up there lying. Sparkle sat there, her ass and lied. And child, what made me so mad with Sparkle is she made it seem like she wasn't fucking she never fucked R. Kelly. Bitch, if you don't get the fuck out of my face, it was a whole bunch of bitches on that cat that act like shit they never fuck him. And they did. And you wanna tell and point the finger about everybody else, bitch, you was getting that thing tapped too. You just don't want to tell your truth. Stop it. Certain things in that documentary that child was triggering. But yeah, exactly. And did. That's why I just highlighted it. Did and did. You know she did. And she sat there and lied, and that shit just was just triggering as fuck because she talked about she said every name in the fucking book but couldn't say her own. It's like, bitch, if you don't live up to your sins, I'm gonna snatch that fucking ragged ass ponytail that you got in your fucking head, you dead looking bitch. And Andrea Kelly too. We know she's a recruiting ass bitch. Motherfuckers groom people too. That's another thing that y'all know. This is grooming behavior. Saying things like these girls is fast and it's women's fault. That's part of grooming as well, y'all. We're not gonna act like that's not true. When you victim blame, that's part of grooming. You're trying to lower the self-esteem of black women to make it seem like it doesn't matter who touches on us. It creates a hostile environment where if something happens to us, it just doesn't matter because we're all just whores. So if all black women and girls is all whores, no one really cares what happens to us. It's grooming behavior. It's gross. The same way, the same way black men embarrass themselves every day and try to make it seem like it's okay what happened to them. Their purpose, like, are you purposely trying to trying to get some shit started with older women, like just trying to keep the cycle going? It's just really gross. And that's another thing that I wanted to bring up. Rudemp also talked about how he feels as though because men are stronger than women, the same way if a woman touches on a little boy, she should be punished. The little boy should be punished too because men are so called stronger than girls. Child. Rudem said this shit. He said, and I repeat, if a woman is touching a little boy, more so like if the boy is like 15, 16, and he end up having sex with like his teacher or whatever, okay, and then the boy should be prosecuted too. Something should happen to the, some type of. So Rudemp jumping on that panel, making it seem like he for the reform of kids going to jail. Unless you say that you don't want kids to go to juvenile prison no more, that's one thing. But you just said you want a kid to go to jail based off a woman preying on him. You making it seem like it's innate in a man's nature or in a male's nature to go after and seek after sex, even though they're minor, and that they should be punished based off their actions because they might have overtook that woman. This is what you're saying. Facts. When Sister George's husband was pussy popping about girls being fast when he was a kid and still are. Now that he's an adult, I was incensed. What the fuck? And that's my whole thing. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's your game? What's your game? What's your game to really talk about how because the male might initiated it with the teacher, he needs to be consequent. He needs to face consequences too. Oh, the man might. Oh, the male might have overpowered. Like, and it's just like these conversations, man. These conversations. Y'all just fuck up so bad. Y'all have these weird conversations. Yo, but yes, we are cutting off Redemp Naval. He's cutting off Redemp Naval. Okay. Let me see if this nigga's still alive. Let me see what his gaslighting ass is talking about. Okay, that's my sound check. Yeah, I was so sick this morning.
The males growing up into being men. And what I'm saying is these males that are killing each other, willing to die for a street, willing to kill each other for some stupid shit. These males, these are not men. These males are raised by women. So believe it or not, I know you ain't gonna agree with this. Most of the issues of the black community can be laid at the feet of the black women and his.
And here's the thing: I don't agree with that, David Johnson. It's also falls on the person who was never there to begin with. And I know that's hard for a lot of people. Women are emotional smarter than men. That's a fact. That's not true, David Johnson. I just tuned into what Rudent was talking about, but yeah, he was basically saying all the problems in the community can be tied to the problems of women. And I still put it on the men too. If you're not there to take off some of that slack and some of that ease from that union, then what your misunderstanding is. How are you so proud to admit that you weren't there and just thinking, living?
And I'm gonna say again, I know superb single parent females that's raised awesome sons, and I know daddies who have raised awful sons that's really terrible people.
And Miss Chantel, you don't have to say that. If that motherfucker wasn't there. What's up, Tiffany Jackson? And thank you for being here. It's no issue. But yeah, this is another triggering conversation that black men like to have. So, ciao. That's another thing. And then they repeat the cycle. And they don't see their daddies there. And they think they're supposed to leave their peoples.
Okay,
that's
now
another thing that black men do.
You put in the blame of black society issues on women, and here's what you just said just now. It's because these young men out here and men out here that's acting a fool is because of single black mothers. And here's the thing, you can't.
I don't give a fuck. Let me tell you why I don't give a fuck, Greg. I don't give a fuck because if you want to leave, then black women is going to do what they need to do. The kids is already there. Have a great day, Tiffany. But yeah, black women going to do what they do. Until y'all start being there and start even in some of these scales. And I really don't give a fuck at this point what y'all complain about. Moving along.
Question the parenthood, the parenting of single black women.
And here's the thing, right? We're not raising abandonment issues and separation anxiety can be directly attributed to absentee parents. Exactly. This is something that black men don't want to talk about. But then just this the other day on somebody panel, I had a black man talk about, it was a black man and they talking about on Bomb Chart Channel, he was talking about how, black women not having as many kids and it's fucking up the community and whatever. And it's just like, so which is it? Do y'all want us to have more kids? Do y'all want to have less kids? Do y'all want us to kill the kids? And then y'all talk about how we have birth contraceptives, and then it's just like you don't have to raise them babies because of birth contraceptives. And then when we talk about getting birth contraceptives, it's just like, oh, you're aborting, murdering baby murdering ass bitch. It's just like, it's confusion. It's double
I'll
talk.
ask it, where are the fathers, baby?
Yes.
Leave back up to the men. Where are the men?
Yes.
Single fathers raise productive children every day without any excuses.
No.
Now this is bullshit. See the gaslight. See the moving of the goalposts. David Johnson, you're gaslighting.
The wild black lings out there acting a fool was raised by single black women, and that brings the question forth. The first thing in a society.
And here's another thing of confusion, right? Y'all black asses left the relationship. Y'all black asses left the home. And then y'all get online, right, in droves and say how black women ain't shit and how black women fucked up the community and how all this other shit because black women are naturally harlots and black women are innately harlots and whores and ghetto. And it's just like, why would you leave us with your child then? Why would you leave us with your child then? Hold on, let me... Yo! Why would you leave us with the kids? So you feel like, so you don't miss your kids? You ain't want to take off some of the slack? You ain't want to take... Okay, moving on.
You gonna ask any other race or group, hey, where's the men of the community, the fathers?
But here's the thing, though. Here's another thing, too. Black men also get online and then try to throw the fact in our face that we fucked up as mothers. Like it's not prominent in all races of people for men to lead anyway and stuff like that. It's like, how do you be proud to be a deadbeat? Won't you at least take accountability and say that black men should have been there, and then at least start bashing us, go back to bashing us, and I'll fuck up things. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's just you walk and chew gum a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You don't even want to hold yourself accountable, not even for 1 second. It's just giving bullshit.
Sleeping with 7, 8 niggas, she don't even know who the father is.
A lot of those men know they have children.
Maury Povich, anybody? She don't even know who the daddy is. That's why she.
So what? Because it didn't work out that you thought she was going to fuck her and she was going to stay down and she was fucking somebody while she was pregnant. So what? But she did still fucking after she was pregnant. Who cares? Moving on.
She can't get a son to the dad. She don't even know who he is.
Who cares?
Let's be honest. You being honest so far. Let's be honest about this, David. There's a lot of black fathers that know they have children that they have totally abandoned, David.
So let me say this, Chantel. Let me say this right fast. Then listen. Let me say this. Then by default, what you're saying, I'm gonna play into what you're saying. Then by default, y'all are not the strongest. Y'all are not the smartest. Y'all are none of that shit y'all say. Let me explain why. If you need me, like let's say it again, because me not being around, if you good, you the genius. You got this shit figured out. You strong. You should be able to teach that to your son. You got it. I'm a dummy. I'm an idiot. I'm just a sperm donor. You got it. So you by default, if you the smartest, you the richest, you got everything, you should be able to pass that down to your son. I'm glad you said that, because the bottom line is clearly by the Chantel's excuse, y'all ain't got it. Women, y'all ain't got it. Y'all need us. Without us, y'all ain't shit. Hold on, let me finish. I agree with that. Without us, y'all ain't shit. But the point is, that ain't the black.
You see, Spirit does what it needs to do. And I tuned into this conversation right when I needed to tune into this conversation. And Redempt. This is Redempt's shit. Listen. Did David Johnson just say what I was just trying to get y'all to understand about being by yourself? And Redempt's title is Black Women Never Cared About Children Being Sexually Abused. They covered up for the abuser, right? David Johnson is really saying, without us, y'all ain't shit. Without us, y'all ain't shit. He is making excuses. Exactly. He's saying, "What's up, Iron Fist?" He's saying, "With us, y'all ain't shit." That's literally trying to shame black women for trying to be by themselves. We don't always need y'all. Y'all is not always good for the kids. Now, if y'all leave, what the fuck is we going to do?
The popular consensus among black women. So the problem is, this is what you need to tell your sisters, Miss Chantel, since you subscribe to this. Tell your sisters get their stupid asses out the driver's seat because they don't know what the fuck they doing. Apparently, they raising niggas out of predators and then they hiding the predatory shit. So then get y'all ass the fuck out the seat and let the nigga take it. And miss me with that. Ain't no good men out there in them.
Okay, so based off statistics, men do most of this behavior of sexual abuse, statistic wise. And the whole thing about it probably might be more women because y'all don't speak up about it, but statistically speaking, this is what's going on. Because y'all don't want to talk about y'all don't even want to deem what happened to y'all as terrible. So we don't even really fucking know. So we don't know what percentage of single fathers is just letting their child get touched on by stepmothers and just letting it go. Talking about, oh, that's just his first pussy. Oh, because it's your woman now, you want to put that little motherfucker out. Okay.
Miss me with that shit. We've already established y'all don't like hardworking men. Y'all don't like men. Y'all don't like order. And Chantel, you subscribe to the Bible, so I'm gonna hit you home from the goddamn gate. Eve, you subscribe to the Bible, Miss Chantel. I know you. I know you. Eve, the very first story in the Bible was showing you the rebellion of a woman. And you know what we learned? Adam was a simp. He was supposed to do what Rude is doing with this panel. What I'm up here doing right now. That's why we out here doing it. Check at 8. The floor is yours, Miss Chantel.
All right, so
ain't no checking me. He didn't even say shit.
I do believe that men are the leaders.
Yes.
Women are not leaders. Men are leaders by.
Didn't he just say that women are nothing? That's why the people are failing because the men are leaving. You just admitted that men are the leaders and men need to be there. So if men aren't going to be there, all they're going to raise is ain't shit motherfuckers. See, black women, this is why we need to start embracing some of these titles that these men put on us because we ain't shit. We're going to produce ain't shit kids. So at this point, I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what you talking about.
Nature. They are soldiers and born warriors and leaders. They are there to protect, provide, and guide. Yes, guide the family. Mm-hmm. Women are not to lead men. That's according to scriptures, okay? So when you have a community, David, of women that has no men around, something is wrong. The question comes again, David, where are the men of the community, David? I don't want to hear excuses.
And what we did, exactly. She said, thank you. Miss Chantel be on point. She get on my nerves sometimes. But that's okay, bitch. Bring it! Yes, I needed to hear that. Thank you. Yes. Oh my God.
Taking accountability.
It just made my root chakra just feel so well together. You know.
You too, as a man, gonna take accountability for black men, majority of black men, and kudos to these young black men coming up today because they're being fathers. They saying, no, I ain't gonna do that to my children.
No, they not.
Yes. Oh yes and no. I don't know.
Hold on. I didn't interrupt you, David. Okay. A lot of them, my nephews and my brothers and them, they're awesome dads. And I see a lot of young black brothers being great.
Well, I hear that from a lot of older black women. I don't know.
Age bracket and probably 35 and probably a little bit older, the 70s and stuff, when drugs hit and stuff like that, a lot of them, David, abandoned their children. And a lot of us grew up with our fathers in a home. And David, you got to take accountability that, yes, there's a lot of, even Barack Obama went to a black church and stood on a black stage and said, you black men need to stop acting like you're 16 and 17 and help these women raise these young men. Our young men need you. Yes, they need their father. A woman cannot raise a man like that. We can only give him some guidance for it's like his mental, how to be a decent person, but truly we can't raise men like that. We are doing the best we can, and some of us lose control of our children because we gotta go work and pay bills, and that's a sad thing. But hold on, I'm almost finished. That's a sad thing, David. and you blaming the women for that. That's not right. You have to be a
right, talking about who we let around. But that's why I needed to do this live stream, because I needed to tell people it's all about people being desperate to be with somebody. And if the men, if we don't know how many single fathers is just letting, you find what I'm saying, stepchildren touch on their stepchildren just because they're proud of their children because they got their first piece of coochie. I mean, they're proud of their sons because they got their first piece of coochie. We don't know that neither. Why he's talking shit. Okay.
David, and say yes. There's men that have abandoned the community. Their sons.
All right. So here's the catch. Now that was a beautiful soliloquy. That was beautiful. Let me break it down. Here's the thing. The daddy wasn't around. Let's say the daddy ain't there. Look, you can't say all the men shook her. You don't even know she was sleeping. We find out from Maury Povich, women sleep with multiple dudes and don't even know who the daddy is. So unless you know, not only is she sleeping with multiple men, she's sleeping with multiple men unprotected. That alone right there.
Who cares? If y'all is fucking her, then y'all need to, like, I don't like that men aren't advocating for stepfatherhood as well, and they down stepfatherhood and all this other stuff so the kids that's already here can get saved. Once that child is there, it don't matter about the mother past. That child is our future. If that's a little black child or whatever, unfortunately it's going to be a nurse that's probably wiping out ass in the future if we don't take care of that child. Child, you sound like a divested woman.
You where the problem is. Now, I'm going to show you this. Now, I ain't blaming men because this ain't about men. But I would tell men, you should be careful who you lay down with, especially not even just her principles, genetics. You don't know, she could be insane. She could be, and I'm finding out with all these head meds, I'm finding out. I tell brothers all the time, when you meet a chick, go in there and check out her medicine cabinet, see what's in there. You'd be surprised what you're dealing with. So with that being said, Miss Chantel, if I'm not there, I don't have any influence.
Most black people aren't getting medication. Most black people are self-medicating with marijuana, and most black people are smoking nowadays. Like, marijuana is getting very popular. Most people are self-medicating and they're not really using their medicine like that. Like, fuck out of here. We're still not taking our mental health seriously.
That means I can't influence you. I'm not even there to influence you, right or wrong. So that means the only influence left is your mother's. Now, here's the catch. Again, here's the catch. This is the quandary right here. Either y'all the most strong, the most educated, the most all that shit black women say they are. Look at the numbers, the stats, all that shit. If y'all are that, then the children should reflect that. There is no getting around.
Okay, so I'm just gonna let it play.
If y'all are that, I'm not asking if they reflect it or not. If y'all are indeed what you say, the children should be direct reflections of that. Hey, good. Now listen, if y'all.
Okay, but based off what y'all saying that we ain't shit, because that's what a lot of men in spirit dudes saying. The children, we're not gonna produce good children. So what's the issue? Like, you need to be here so that way you almighty kings, you almighty black men, you need to fix the problem, but y'all don't want to. Y'all say, oh bitch, you lay down with my raggedy ass. You go fix it. Okay.
Not. The children should be direct reflections of that. And what we see in this topic that has us here today proves y'all are not. So then that means y'all ain't got it. So that means y'all need to sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up, stop with all that we the strongest.
We tried this. Listen, let me explain something to you, David Johnson. If black women really shut the fuck up and stay the fuck down, if black women really shut the fuck up, right, and set the fuck down, the birth rate would be so low. The birth rate would be so low. Okay, if black women really sat down and shut the fuck up, the birth rate would be low. Okay, we would have to stop fucking so many if we was really, come on now.
Artists, no, you're not. No, you're not. The community doesn't reflect that. I ain't saying that you know that y'all gotta say that y'all are lying about it. If you know,
Miss Chantel doesn't never say that though. That's not her talking points. Now, if you were talking about a bitch, if you were talking to a bitch like Cynthia G, this argument will work. But David, it's not working because Miss Chantel, she agreed with you on that. But why are you making excuses? Make it make sense.
Not any of that. Be quiet, and then not only be quiet and shut the fuck up. And and learn how to listen. See, this is what women can say this. This is what black women, y'all smart. That's how I know y'all full of shit. If y'all was smart, y'all would say, you know what, all right, we gonna do everything y'all say, and we gonna document this, girls. We gonna document this. You do everything them niggas say, girl, outside.
Yo, all right, you saying dumb shit now.
Do everything them niggas say. Just gave us, because I'm gonna say this one more time. That sounds like justification to me. That was, and listen, and I know how women play. Y'all go to the victim. This woman have to there by themselves, and they would starve. And I like the melodramatics, and I'm not saying there wouldn't be a few cases of that. Here's the catch: the fact still remains: who's leaving the situation more? Is it men leaving women with children, or are women leaving the men? Leaving the men? Are the men leaving the women, or are the women leaving the men? Because you can't leave all the men and then complain about not having any men, and then blame and say that's the men's fault. Like, wait a minute,
hold up. You don't have no evidence of who's leaving who. All you know is that women is doing it on their own, and they shouldn't be.
You leaving. I'm saying I don't want you to leave. I told you don't leave. You left anyway. Then when all shit goes wrong with the situation of the kids, you turn around and blame me. The devil is a goddamn lie. When you left, you made the decision for you and them children. The moment you left, it was no longer, it had any responsibility.
You know what's fucked up? David is trying to make black women even more scared to leave their marriages and mates. Not taking into account the high numbers of DV, the high numbers of sexual abuse and stuff like that on a live stream, talking about the women who cover up the sexual abuse. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. You cannot make didn't I just say that men throw marriages and relationships in our faces? And what is the purpose of David doing it right now? What?
Taken away from me. Hold on. All responsibility was taken from me the moment you choose to leave. You don't get to blame me any longer for that. And again, we just proved observable reality. And when you was growing up, Miss Chantel, who was saying, no, I'm done with this relationship, you out of here? Was it men?
Why is David up there to basically try to still guilt women into being with men no matter what? Like we don't have our own free will just because we have children. This is the type of rhetoric that convinces black women to sell off their daughters to their husbands. But moving along.
That to the majority of the women? Was the majority of the women doing that to men? From your observable reality, is it most women filing divorce, or is it most men filing divorce?
It's most women filing divorce because they deal with domestic violence and they deal with verbal abuse. They deal with shit. They might have been dealing with marital rape. It's not none of your fucking business. It's black women's right to leave.
Go.
I like that question right there, because this bring it all the way. We just went in a whole circle to get back to the basic point in men and women being accountable for their own behavior. Now, I'm not about to get into who divorcing who, but I'm gonna say this: everything you just said.
That's relevant.
Hold on 1 second. Everything you just said.
It's his. This is why it's relevant. It's relevant because if the men. She's talking about the men have to be there whole. If the men is still there, it doesn't mean anything because now black women have the right to divorce people. It's not that serious. We're not dealing with abuse. We're not dealing with cheating. We're not even dealing with emotional or mental abuse, which is what cheating is.
To this right here, what we should be doing in the first place. The family unit has been destroyed. What we should be doing in the first place.
Hold on, y'all gotta use the bathroom so bad.
Keep your legs closed until he signed the dotted line. Men, hold on, men do not go out and be trying to make hoes into housewives or good mamas when you know you met her and she was a hoe and you like her hoeing, so you try to turn her into a housewife and the girl wasn't a housewife material. So you guys need to choose better and be responsible men and marry those women rather than running around making babies with 500 women in the community, making a bunch of single mothers. And women, you need to take accountability for keeping your legs closed, not allowing these men to use you and throw you away.
Ms. Chantel.
Period. Boom. That's it. Right there. Accountability on both people.
Power to the sisters. Now wait, Ms. Chantel. Let me show you how you know you're wrong. Choco Kitty is agreeing with you. The fact that Choco Kitty, who you just agreed with, called you Razor the Dusty, now she agrees with you. That's how you should know you wrong. Check and mate again.
You can't go no further. Both women need to be accountable.
Listen. No, you can't go no further. You shot yourself in the foot. The fact that you didn't want to get into who's breaking up these divorces, who's filing these divorces, who's breaking up these households.
Listen. This is the whole thing. It's not about who's breaking up what. The whole thing about it is black women have the rights now to divorce. It just goes to show that the majority of men are hurting women more than women are hurting y'all. Because whoever obviously initiates the divorce, that doesn't mean they're not going through anything. If anything, it means that they're the ones who's going through some bullshit and don't want to be in that union anymore. So I don't know why all of a sudden that doesn't mean what it means. It's just that Chantel can't really express it because David Johnson is basically double talking and gaslighting her. You know. This is what they do to try to excuse the fact that, hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna just go ahead and let this play. My fault, y'all.
That you don't want to get into that proves you're being biased because that is totally relevant to the argument of where the fathers are. The women are leaving them.
No, David.
Oh, the devil
are
is
leaving
alive.
women as well, and women are leaving men because they realize after they have children and do all this stuff that, listen, I shouldn't have close that door, sweetie. I shouldn't have messed with this man, or I shouldn't mess with this woman. And that's right. Women keep your legs closed, men choose better.
Are most men leaving the women, or are most women leaving the men?
No, I can't get into that, David. I'm saying
you're not going to get into that because you don't have any answers, Sway.
Why won't he take accountability? Why won't he take accountability? That's my whole thing. Why don't he take accountability? I'm not understanding what. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to understand what's hard to admit that we as a people, we both don't take accountability for real. Because they both skipping over the fact that, number one person isn't raising the children right, and the other person, because here's the thing. I'm listening to the conversation and I'm wondering why I don't want to refute both of them. And the reason why is you can't refute both of them is because both of them are right. And the reason why is because they both parrot the talking points that's from the Bible. And so you can't tell them that the issue to this is maybe contraceptives should be taken a little bit more seriously. Who knows? I know that sounds fucked up. That sounds really mean. A lot of people don't want to have that conversation. A lot of people don't want to have that conversation as well. Because if you're feeling like the children that are already here, right, aren't being raised right, and your only solution is in stepfatherhood because you feel like those men are simps, those men are getting played, and you feel like, hey, player, you young, you need to go get your life. You need to go get you a young bitch. Get you a young bitch. Get you a bitch without no kids. Go get you a fresh bitch and give her her first child so that way you can have better control of the situation, and then you can go leave and use the child as a pawn as well when you don't have access to her vagina. You'll make it seem like it's a problem. But also, you don't tell men that there is also, especially men who actually give a fuck about their children, how to pick good mothers to their children. Okay, because men, there is some men who miss their children. Those men don't. I mean, well, no, I'm lying. Those men do speak out a lot, but at the same time, it's not enough of them speaking out. You now it seems to be almost popular to almost brag about how men left, and it's almost like the way men talk and the way men describe women. It's almost like they're encouraging men to leave their union. Like, we're such a burden. Like, having a family is such a burden, but you want to go out and have sex raw. Like, and we already know who mostly loves having sex raw. Mostly men. Like, we're gonna stop acting like these. One of the tree words have spoken weak men blame everything on a woman. It's just ridiculous. This is ridiculous at this point. Hold on, let me fix my bra before I go up on camera. Hold on. My bra is always fucked up, y'all. Big titty issues. All day. Yeah, but yeah, it's just really sickening. It's really misfortunate. It's really fucked up. The way this whole discussion is going is just really just getting on my nerves. Hold on, y'all.
Talking about you left that father and you raised this nigga and you was a dumbass broad. Not to you, Miss Chantel, I'm talking about in general. You was a dumbass bitch. So then your dumbass old trifling ass Shaquanda, you teach your son he can't learn, he can't grow above you. So he learned all that dysfunctional emotional shit from you. And then he grew up and then when somebody tell him no, he junior from goddamn the Players Club with his goddamn sister Ronnie covering for him. Check and mate, I'm fucking you up, Miss Chantel. The floor is yours.
Okay, I'm gonna have to make my last statement, David, because this is tiring.
I know it is.
David, as a man of God, I really do expect you to take accountability if you don't speak. And I'm not speaking about black men as a collective right now. I'm speaking some black men are deadbeats and some are not. Like I said, there's a lot of young men coming up today being awesome dads. So there's some that's
at least give you that,
and some that's there for their children. We know back in the 70s.
How many would you say Chantel, how many would you say bad in their children? Just so we can know.
I can't give out a percentage.
Damn, you ain't got no answers. You ain't got no real answers, Miss Chantel.
You're cutting me off. It's more than enough. It's very recognizable in our community that our young men is lacking fathers at home is to that degree. So that means it's a good majority of them, David. And it all leads back to you saying the women. Then you told me it was the government that rigged the system to get the men out of the house to divide and conquer. And then you went back into saying it was the women who walk away from the men. Listen. If you abandon a woman with children, your kids, that woman got to find a way to feed those kids. Some women go prostitute. They love their children so much. Some women go to the system and get assistance. Whichever way it be, that woman's pure intent is to provide for that child so they're able to take care of themselves. And that's a wonderful thing. And you cannot afford, as men who abandon their children, to look back and to criticize her, critique how she raised the children. Because if anybody, hold on, If anybody that should be critiqued is the person that abandoned children. Do you know what the Bible say, David? I'm sure you do. Let's hold this up before I leave.
No cherry picking.
Hold on. Let's hold this up very clearly before I leave, David.
No cherry picking. He talking about scriptures.
People, one second.
He talking about scriptures.
Can I? The Bible says that a man that abandons his children is worse than a non-believer.
It says provide. It says provide. And understand something. Listen.
Hold up. Hold on now. Don't you niggas be complaining about child support? Exactly. So now women don't have to do that. Women are leaving. Women don't have to stay. You're basically telling women to sell their daughters out, to sell out their bodies. That they're only worth most likely getting beat the fuck up. You feel what I'm saying? Then there's the problem of being in poverty, of black people being economically displaced. You are going to see an increase of women leave because they aren't financially sound. Do I agree with that? Not necessarily. At that point, if you marry somebody and you feel like it was going to go down the dumps like that, and but sometimes if you fall on hard times, sometimes the way men look at the situation, shit, they feel like it's fair that they ain't doing nothing, and we don't want to be no fucking breadwinner. Okay, women is tired of that shit too. Not unless you really get sick or nothing like that. No. Okay. I've been, child, my baby father tried me like that. Tried to make it seem like he couldn't work and all this other shit. And yeah. But it was more than that. It was the abuse too. He was abusive. You know what I'm saying? He was very verbally abusive. So it can be a money issue, and then on top of that, you beating my ass. And I don't want my kids to see this. And then y'all blame motherfuckers for raising a thug ass motherfucker because they didn't see her get beat the fuck up. Why do you think women mostly leave? I think it's mostly because they get beat the fuck up. It's not because of the money. And David is not even saying the reasons why those divorces are happening. Do you have a percentage of why those divorces are happening? Why you sitting there trying to throw it in our faces? Like we supposed to care? That's not the point. Outside of marriage and a family, motherfucker, you supposed to be there. You're not supposed to be doing this shit all on my own. Won't you try to make her understand that just because I'd rather for him to just lie and just be like, oh, just because they're not a family, it don't mean that we're not there. You just straight up said it don't fucking matter. Facts and fast talk doesn't make one right. Many of men talk loud and fast, and it is a red flag. Their argument is faulty and without merit. Theatrics aren't meant for the truth. That's why I turn up on here, because that's the only reason. That's the only way. You have to understand too, Gorgeous Malik. That's the only way men are gonna hear you. Not just men, but our people is gonna hear you in a way. Sometimes if you yell and get loud, that's why no, I can't understand. I don't understand why she's doing it, because then I'd be lying. She's a Hebrew Israelite, so she probably feel like I'm gonna be feminine, I'm gonna be soft, I'm gonna talk fast, I'm gonna talk slow and low, because that means I'm having a better argument because I'm a woman. And it's just like, you turned up, I'm giving you the same energy. That's just me. You find what I'm saying? Or if I feel like, I don't just randomly yell at somebody on the panel, but if somebody, picking with me, getting loud, or you talking fast, and you ain't never hear nobody talk fast. Like when I'm mad, I talk so fast, I don't even realize I'm doing it. Like when somebody make me mad, I don't even realize I'm talking fast. Y'all, I'm so mad because I cannot find my motherfucking lighter. Y'all give me one motherfucking second. Yo, why people that smoke always lose their motherfucking lighter, yo? That shit be killing me. And I was just sitting on the shit, y'all. I swear, y'all give me one thing. I don't never be on this. I swear to God, I don't never be on this bitch sober. I can't do this sober. There's too many heavy discussions that y'all be having on here. Y'all must have lost your mind. when you having these gaslighting conversations, understand you cannot be sober. You have got to have some wine, have a little Chief Keef, have something, okay? These discussions will irk the fuck out of you, even if you're just a panel hopper, okay? Even if you don't make your own content. If you're in these spaces, if you're in these YouTube streets, okay, make sure you have your advice, okay? And it's crazy because me and Lex Vortex, we was going back and forth one day, right? Because he was talking about smoking. Caught him on a live stream bragging about how he was eating weed and how he said he wasn't fucking with the Eddies, but he said he ate some borrowed weed, girl. Thank you, Koja Malik. Questioning religious text is not questioning, it is questioning man's faulty editing. Exactly. That's why I brought up in this live stream, I said before the Christians sit here and talk shit, I'm going to need y'all to take into the account that it's a scripture that says that if a woman get raped, she going to have to marry her rapist. And I don't think people can really understand how detrimental that is to have to marry a rapist. People don't care. They be like, oh, it's God's word. We might not understand because it's God's word. It's just like, no, men put certain things in that text for their own thing, for their own bidding. Yeah, coach. Yeah, all religious texts too, because they try to hide the goddess as well. That too. The suppressing of the goddess is so clear, and I think I'm sorry, but I really think that's why Kevin Samuels died. I feel like because he was trying to groom that black woman on live. Because I mean, I feel like we already know what he was doing was verbally abusive, but the fact that he was trying to groom a black woman into accepting bullshit. Mm-mm. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to light this. Yes, finally it lit. Try to use my electric stove to light some shit. Okay. I need to get stuff outside. Shit. Okay, now I'm good. I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Y'all know I'm a stoner.
Maybe not. Maybe you just hold on one second. Maybe it's not a hurt man speaking. Maybe because people say I sound like a hurt woman, but I've never been in love or really in a serious relationship in my head. I've been with people, but I never really.
Well, I got 3 women.
Hold on one second. I've never really clinged to anybody to have gotten hurt by them, but yet when I speak, I'm very demanding and I'm very demanding because of how I grew up and what I saw. I refuse to be. Hold on one second. I refuse to be treated in a certain mannerism that I saw other women.
Child, you know that, child. And the whole thing about it is Proverbs 8 tells the truth about the goddess of heaven. It's just not about the concept of wisdom. Okay, black women, if you ever feel threatened by anybody or anything, that scripture is there to protect you. It's just the Bible is a spell book. Let's stop lying. Okay, let's stop lying. We're not going to lie. We're not lying. We're tired of lies. Okay.
Who are good wives to men be treated. I said, oh no, I'd rather be alone before I go through that and allow somebody to mistreat me like that. You might hold on, I'm not finished. You might be speaking. No, because you talk a long time too. You lack
experience though, Miss Chantel. That's why you don't know what you're talking about. You don't even have the experience to talk what you're talking about. You don't even have it. So that's why.
Hold on one second, David.
Okay.
I'm not talking relationships. That's why I say maybe you're speaking from a hurt perspective, or maybe not.
No,
maybe
from an experience perspective. From an experience perspective, what I'm speaking.
Okay, so from my experience, David, I saw a lot of women being abused that was good women and good wives, and I say, oh no, that's not something I'm allowing for myself. But anyways, what I'm saying is that I feel bad for people who see all women the same or all men the same. I'm a black woman, and I know there's black men out here.
Who said all women?
On 1 second.
Who said all?
Babe, I didn't interrupt you. There's black men out here that's not all great. They got some black men I can be like, y'all motherfuckers just retarded and crazy, period. I don't want to fuck with you. But I don't see you as all the same. I know there's some awesome black men out here, and I feel bad for people who walk around thinking all black men are the same or all black.
And this is Chantel. She's very fair, so I don't even know why they're arguing. But the whole thing about it is, I feel like people who view the women who view black men is all the same. It's a parallel to the manosphere and how the manosphere circle, they feel the same way about all black women. Like how David tried to say that all black women ain't shit, and then wonder why they can't raise the children right. It's like we need help. If you want to part the talking points of the Bible, then you can say that you're a piece of shit for leaving, because it was supposed to be a woman and a man.
Are the same, because we're not. Black men are not the same. I still have hopes that I will meet one day a black man that is decent and all of those good things that I look for in a man. I don't think every single black man out here is the same. And let me tell you something. The stuff you're saying, I know plenty black men who would totally disagree with you and say, David, you're wrong. We have a lot of men that has abandoned the community, and we got to take accountability and fix that. Okay, so I feel bad. I'm about to close it up now. I feel bad for a person who think like you, who feels that all women are this and that, because that's not true. Or all men are this and that. That's sad. All
right. Listen, nobody. That's a straw man. Nobody ever said all. But what I'm saying is, listen. Whether all women subscribe to it or choose to do it, there's a system in place that is
trying to make it seem like single fathers is above reproach, when y'all don't even believe that the little boys is being touched by an older woman. Y'all just admitted it and doubled down on that whole situation.
And what I've learned is, you hard pressed to make it where a person can rob a person and get away with it, and they won't do it. This is my point. You could offer somebody something. If you make it easy for somebody to victimize somebody else, and it's beneficial to them and they can get away with it, you're hard pressed for that human being to say, you know what, this ain't right, I ain't gonna do it. And black women prove that. Again, this is why Satan this is why the serpent, aka that government of that country, whatever Adam and Eve was, because they weren't the only people on the planet. That's why Cain went to Nod and married a woman. Adam and Eve weren't the first people. Adam and Eve were the only people that got it.
Let me make sure I understand you. You saying they make it easy for women to victimize men?
Absolutely. Okay. You don't see that?
Okay, so I'm going to say this right here. What you're saying, that's so funny.
Because you see it. No, you don't see how women do. Hold on. All right, then. Thank you. Continue.
But I also see how you are sitting up here making it easy for men to victimize women.
Yes.
Hold on 1 second. Yes. Not marry these women. Look forward to just shoving their penis in these women, making them pumping and dumping and leaving.
I never said that.
Hold on 1 second, David.
But you're lying on me, I never said that.
Not being around. You never addressed the absence of men in the community.
I did. I said you guys are leaving the men. So what you're doing is you're lying. You're blaming the men for leaving.
All the women leave men.
I'm saying the majority of women divorce men. Listen, most of the women that quit dealing with me, a few crazy ones, I had to get away. She was gonna mess around and kill me. But a lot of women left me, because they didn't want to be sister wives, or they didn't want authority. Look, the whole stuff. Hold on, listen.
What are you talking about? Why are you talking about sister wives? See, the reason why Solomon wasn't supposed to have all those wives was because, not just because he was getting women from different nations, but because the women was doing magic against him. That's why his life fell apart. When women gather, okay, because y'all like to say women ain't shit, Remind me of Pam Grier. No, thank you. No, but when women start together, you think that we're not going to use our own spiritual power against men? You think we're just going to sit there and let you do whatever you want to? You think we're going to? No, we're going to use our own spiritual power against you. You as a man who's talking about the Bible and Bible thumping and all this other shit is really bad because you're not Bible thumping the right way. After that account happened, I think it was Jesus. I don't know what prophet said it, but he said that a man is to be with one woman. Okay? And the Jehovah's Witness talk about this. And only certain sects of Christianity bring this out. But it's the truth. Because now in society, men is not going to have the time nor the energy or the emotional availability as they did before. They're not going to have the chance to really spread themselves apart because of capitalism, because they work so much, and because they don't even... Men complain about 50-50 because they want most of the black women to do most of the work, most of the housework, okay? You can't go 50-50 on the housework because you're incompetent, because you're dumb. You want to depend on a woman, that's number one. But you also don't have the money, you barely have the money to go 50-50 with her. Okay, so how are you going to go 50-50 with a whole bunch of women? Oh, no, you're a whole tapper and you're talking about, oh, the women used to go out and work, so you want us to go home and bring home the bacon. It's going to be better because y'all smarter anyway. And, y'all say a lot of bullshit with this poly shit. And y'all already online complaining that one black woman beat the shit out you. One black woman use you. What the fuck you going... What the fuck you think a whole bunch of black women going to do? Use you up, beat you up, and put a whole bunch of spells on you. Y'all love to say, oh, these demonic ass women. These demonic women. Oh, these demonic women. Oh. We on your ass. No self-control whatsoever. No self-control. Spiritually fucking you up. In the closet doing all types of shit. Y'all get caught up with one bitch. What you gonna do with a whole bunch of them? You're not ready for that. Okay? You're not ready for that. And with you progress on in modern society, for you to just be telling us we're gonna be with one man. We're not just dealing with this sister wives. No, David. Come on now. And where the fuck is Rudem? He just letting these motherfuckers rock on his panel. But Chantal was trying to hold it down for the sisters. She just not the right one to do it because I would have leaned into his ass. But, child, they trying to trigger people. That's why I said, let me just stay over here in my little pocket. Many, not all problems in all religious texts are wrapped around sibling rivalry, and multiple wife issues. It is a setup for drama. Bug, greedy, lustful men are greedy. Yes! I'm leaving that shit up. Hold on. That's another thing that's confusion. And didn't he just complain, oh, you don't know who your baby daddy is and stuff like that? What if the woman step out and still don't know who her baby daddy is? Now you got all these bitches in the house and all these kids in the house. Now you gotta explain that. Then you gotta break up with her and the kids know about two mommies and you like, mommy cheated. And it's like, how did mommy cheat? And you got two bitches in the house and you think kids is not smart enough to understand that concept. Child, please. They understand. They understand very well. The fuck, they understand very well. I don't know what the fuck wrong with y'all. And child, guess what, y'all? As soon as I calm down, that's when I find my fucking life.
I mean, I haven't been in love before.
Where's your baby daddy? Where's your baby daddy?
I wasn't in love with him.
Okay, so you had a baby by a man. Oh, check and mate. You had a baby by a nigga you wasn't in love with.
Wait.
Oh, check and mate.
What is check and mate for? What does that have to do with the conversation? She seems at peace to me. This is the most, like Woman Spirit be saying, the most far removed I've ever heard her. She actually chilling. She don't give a fuck about you niggas. She probably gonna live longer than you, David.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Yeah, like a lot of
So that makes it okay. So, because a lot of women did it, that makes it okay. I'm fucking you up, Miss Chantel. Throw the goddamn
She never said it was okay.
No, what I'm saying is that a lot of young women aren't being taught to keep their legs closed until. See, I'm letting you speak, and you're not letting me keep their legs closed until marriage. Unfortunately, I wasn't taught that the value of a woman. I grew up when I got pregnant. That's when I really understood and came into my faith the value of a woman, and I left.
So your mama dropped the ball. So your mama
left you niggas alone.
So your mama dropped the ball.
And Miss Chantel, the value of being a woman is to stand with a man that you really don't love, and I'm proud of you for. But even though you deal with the Bible, I don't agree with everything in the Bible. But I'm happy that you're you're realizing that it's okay to be alone. You don't want to be with a man that you don't really love, and a man wouldn't be with a woman that he don't really love. And Chantel understands that. She probably won't say it to David because because you feel what I'm saying, she is a Hebrew Israelite woman, but no. No. We know.
It's not just the mama, it's a cycle.
No, did your mama teach you is what I'm asking. Did she teach you?
That's what I'm saying. It's nobody taught her to make sure.
And here's the thing, Feisty Goddess, shout out to Feisty Goddess in the chat. Here's the thing. They want us to accept not polygamy, but they want us to accept. Black women actually, a lot of black women actually do accept polygamy. What black men want us to accept is polygyny, which is POLYGYNY, which is when only the women can be with only the men can step out and be with different women, and the women can't go anywhere. But the men are so lustful, like somebody else in the chat said. I believe, like Koja Malik said, men are so lustful they can't even express that, so they get it mixed up and say polygamy with confidence. With your stupid ass, you're stupid. Let me tell you why you're stupid. And you're lustful and greedy as fuck. Because polygamy will mean that the women can step out as well. Do you get me? That's what the definition. Look it up. And then you have polyandry, which means that the woman can have more than one, which is happening a lot now. When I see black men all the time now pop up on TikTok with a fat white woman. I'm like, what's going on here? Okay. But Chantel buys into the BS. Now she wants to hold women to a level of perfection she didn't obtain. But since she has come into her faith, others don't get the same time to come into their faith. Child, I feel a certain way. I feel the same way, Coach. And she really not that one. Like I would say, David a new asshole, but I'm so done with this conversation, the gaslighting, the just oh my God, you're not having a relationship, you bitches laugh. It's just like you don't know why we laugh, so it's like
marriage is enforced.
So her mama dropped the ball. So it's a cycle. So grandmama dropped the ball, mama dropped the ball, you dropped the ball.
No, I didn't drop the ball. All throughout the community is a cycle that we're not teaching our daughters.
You didn't drop the ball. You got with a man you didn't love. How didn't you drop the ball? I'm not saying it's all your fault because you weren't taught. But listen, just because you don't know a red light is you can't run red lights. If you run a red light, you're going to get a ticket, none the goddamn less, even though you
said I want Chantel to see how this man is gaslighting her. She's never cried about the situation. She just want him one time to take accountability. And he won't even say that deadbeats ain't shit. He's just trying to make it seem like it's women's fault, and it's not all women's fault. You was lying. You was telling a lie.
Too much babbling and stuff.
I'm not babbling at all. Because you said you didn't wait.
You're not letting.
What did she have to do with the conversation?
You had a child with a man you didn't love. You don't see that as wrong?
You're not letting me speak. You keep interrupting me like
you're on drugs. Go ahead, love.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that that's not something I'm ashamed of. That's something that's happening in reality today. And today, even across color lines, it's happening. Okay, a lot of societies is telling young people today even that it's okay to have children without establishing relationships through marriage first and stuff like that.
But why are you putting marriage on a pedestal and you didn't want to stay in your marriage? I understand now, David, going, put you in a headlock now, ma'am. Now I'm going to turn it off. Listen to that bullshit, child. I got to pick up my son soon. I just wanted to prove that once again, what I said was right. As soon as I turned in, what was David Johnson doing? What did Rudette Black David Johnson? Who live stream is this? Really Rudette live stream? Yeah, Rudette sitting there letting David Johnson rock on this panel, child. Chantel is not exercising wisdom by having this conversation with David, the equivalent of casting her pearls before so yes, casting her pearls before swine, yes. Child, if that's not the truth, because I would like it now. One time David had a panel and he was letting this dude just I don't know what the fuck he was talking about. He was talking about weeds and complaining about weeds and all this other shit. And I was gonna go up there and David Johnson just ain't want no smoke with me. I promise you he ain't let me up on that panel. Nigga, you wasn't asleep. You heard me say I was in the back. I was going to dig into his ass. He was saying so much bullshit. He just kept talking about weaves and black women are harlots and all this other shit. And I'm sitting here thinking like, no, let me go up here and agree with him. So I can tell him who the first harlots really was. The first harlots really was the man. That's why y'all get up here and brag and talk about how you want to spread your dick everywhere, you bitch. You talking about we harlots. But which is it? Is we emotional and we always asking what we is and we always want to get married and have a relationship? Or is we harlots and freaks? What the fuck is it? Is we too romantical and we just need to be pumped and dumped? Which is it? Which is it? Can you let me know which one it is? Do we want to just be pumped and dumped? Or which is it? You're going to have to make a decision, men. Men can't make a decision about what they want to say. It's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing at this point. At this point, no. Men should really be embarrassed. And you really not. I just can't. Yeah, that's dead. I can't listen to David sit there and gaslight her all because she have her own experiences and she realizing that you niggas is all in these spaces. That's why I wanted to discuss the Baller X situation. And y'all petty as shit because y'all ain't say nothing about it. Baller X straight executed himself. He said, bitch, if I clip you, then it's going to be in a bad light. And he already let motherfuckers know. If you let Jalen on your panel, he is getting in your ass. And it's a new day. I'm just feeling it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just feeling it. Yo, these manosphere women is so hard, yo. These is women that you don't see in your day-to-day. Most black women now, trust me, they're waking up. They're they're learning how to say no. Do I feel like it's extremities there? Yes. But that's why I say black people have the same plight. That's why I say, why does y'all keep saying the same thing? Y'all went over to the manosphere, found out they were saying the same thing that us and the feminists were saying. I was like, oh, so it's a battle. Yo. Yeah, I ever seen Rise motherfucker when the dad or the sexes clown, bring it on down. Clown, bring it on down. And move to the rhythm when you're feeling that sound. Oh. I am ready to get off of here, y'all, because I gotta pick up my son. Peace.